Is my mic? Oh, my microphone is working. Good. It was too low down on my audio source list, so I didn't see any reaction. But so what's going on, guys? How is everybody doing on this lovely, lovely Friday night? Has anybody else lost track of time today listening to Sabrina Carpenter music? No, just me. Okay, my basic white girl is obviously showing, but I still managed to make it. We're still here tonight. Yes, sorry about that delay, guys. I had long story short, I did not sleep well last night. Like, I'm talking maybe one of those nights where you get like maybe 45 minutes of sleep and then you're just like tossing and turning the whole night. So I had to go take like it was a bad night's sleep. So after work, after working out today, I had to take a nap. So I slept a little bit. We're here. I did spend a little too much time on the thumbnail for tonight, not because it's clearly any more complicated than it normally is, than we normally have here, right, guys? It's just when it comes to doing like Photoshop has a select feature, right? Like a subject select. So if you put in a photo, you can say select subject, and it'll what do you call it? Like lasso tool, cut out a specific thing, person, yada yada yada. That's normally how I get the base ground for my thumbnails going, to get that main image so that I could black out the back of it. When it comes to Magic the Gathering cards, since they use paintings, they're slightly harder to do because it's not an algorithm, but the program, I guess it is sort of an algorithm, but it just, paintings flow into each other, they bleed. So when I use a magic image, I have to take a little extra time to make it all look well. But all of that aside, no excuses here, no excuses, just explanations. Aside from all that, yes, guys, welcome back. It is another Friday night here on this beautiful blue ball we call Earth. I hope everybody out there is doing well. All of my fellas, all of my ladies, all of my in-betweeners. I hope everybody is doing well out there. It is time. If you are here, if you are watching, if you are hanging out, it is good Mav Ugly time. We're here to kick your week off or your weekend off on a positive note. Recap some fun things that happened throughout the week, laugh at some dumber things that happened throughout the week, talk to you guys about, the truth behind some of the stories that are going on out there that, we might not be getting the most prescient coverage of. But aside from that, yes, wow, I don't know why I'm so fritzed right now, but we have a lot to talk about this week, guys. For once, just so many topics. Obviously, from the thumbnail, we'll be talking the recent development around the Magic the Gathering Spider-Man set. It is not fun if you are a digital player, and so we'll get into that. I'm going to put this out there in case, I know people are still filing in and people will be watching in the VOD and stuff, but we really need to come up with something here, guys. You guys all know my pseudo catchphrase. It's not really a catchphrase, but I guess it's like the saying, my idiom, right? Nobody hates Marvel more than Spider-Man. We need to come up with I need to come up with some meme, some video thing, some audio clip, because we say it so much, we really need to just be able to go, what do you say, guys? Ba-boom. Kind of like if I wanted to, never mind, I can't do it because it's on the foil variant layout. I was going to use our Jeff graphic. But, yes, so we have Magic the Gathering to talk about. We have some really dumb Marvel Rivals discourse to talk about that I normally wouldn't really touch upon, but because it's really related to something, how do I put this? It's almost personal to me. So we'll talk about Marvel Rivals, the recent strategist strike, the support strike that's going on. It's really stupid, and I have thoughts. I will also be talking a little bit about the Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four. Yes, we broke down the trailer last week, but who is surprised to learn that people are being hyper disingenuous about everything that's in it on the internet? So I want to talk to you guys about that, give you sort of, the ground information in case you're going to be talking to anybody about Fantastic Four this weekend or any of that fun stuff. We'll also probably, if we have time, touch upon the Discord development, which is not great for anybody really outside of maybe Activision stockholders, or not even Activision stockholders, general Wall Street fat cats. We'll get into it. I'll put on I'll do my best Green Arrow impression as we go forward. Don't worry, we'll get there. We will also maybe touch upon the Oblivion remake. There's not a lot to talk about there. Maybe we'll talk about that first. So we'll hold on to that Oblivion point. But probably the bigger topic that we're going to talk about tonight is if you guys know me, if you've followed me for a while, if you've watched this show, if you've known me as a friend, you'll know that I have this term that I use to describe myself, right? If people say, hey, tell me a bit about yourself, blah, 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 blah. I like to call myself a weeabro because I'm a huge nerd, as you guys can tell, tokusatsu, comic books, video games, all that weeby stuff, and non-weeby stuff. But I'm also a giant, I had to come to terms like 10 years ago with the fact that I am also somehow, just through the way I was, raised, the people I knew, I somehow became slightly bro-y, right? Like I work out, I love going to parties, I'm hyper social, I really like sports. So tonight how do I put this? Anime is starting to meet the sports world, and we'll talk about it because finally a team I genuinely care about is getting in on the game, and it's incredible. So we'll break that down. But yes, we have a loaded show tonight, guys. As always, those are what I have planned. This show is mainly for me to hang out with you guys, talk to you. I want to hear from you. What are you guys playing? What are you guys thinking? What's been on your minds, right? I want you guys to remember, this is a show to build the community, to let you guys know that you're not alone, that there's some good stuff out there, that your voices are being heard. So if that's all I can do in the very least is let you guys know that, hey, somebody out there hears you, even if I don't agree with you, or even if I do agree with you. That's all I can really ask for in this life, right? So we have a lot to get into. Let's get into it. As always, we will start the show by saying hello to the chat. Unfortunately, you guys know me. I opened up the featured chat program that I use a little late, so I do not have the first two comments to highlight, but I will say hello to Corey. My boy Corey out there says, can't stay longer, no work tomorrow. Hey, that combination right there makes me pretty happy, because if you're saying, hey, I don't have work tomorrow, but I can't hang out, that means you're finally going to go do something, or you have something that like there's an event, or that you're going to go sleep. Either way, it's pro Corey time, and that's what I like to hear. So always a pleasure, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. Whatever amount of time you can spend with us, that I appreciate it all the same. And that goes to everybody out there, whether you're actively chatting with us, whether you're watching in the VOD, whether you're just hanging out, you have me on in the background while you clean your room or do the last minute work you have to do on a Friday night. I appreciate you being here for any amount of time that you guys want to spend with me, right? Just the fact that you thought, hey, I want to vibe with Mav for even 5 minutes means the world. So happy to see you, buddy. Go get some rest. Second, we have Sakura Mita saying, hello, Spencer, working for 01 as always. Hey, Sakura, how's it going? We, like I said in the Discord, we always appreciate your submissions, but don't, run yourself ragged. It's okay to enjoy the show sometimes, right? Remember, we're here to entertain you guys, right? Like Cider, Nerdigans, Jacob, and I over there on 01 on Bounding, we're here to entertain you. We're here to talk for you. We're the ones doing the work. So if you ever feel burnt out, if you ever feel like, oh man, there's too much pressure, don't worry about it. We appreciate you all the same, buddy. Happy to have you. We have Andrew is in the house. Guys, it is so sad. We've been doing so well with foil variant, and unfortunately this next week Andrew will be visiting his parents. But wow, that is a very awkward combination of words, right? How unfortunate. Andrew's going to visit his parents. Blah 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 blah. But yes, this upcoming week it will be a solo foil variant. Just a side note, I'll remind you guys later on. We'll talk about it more. Andrew says, I'm more of an Ariana Grande guy. So when it comes to pop star music, I like pretty much, how do I describe my music taste? You guys don't know this, or maybe you do, because I let it leak out sometimes on live streams and stuff, but I try to be really good about this because I learned years ago that it is very off-putting to people. I'm kind of pretentious, right? I am, especially when it comes to the arts, and especially when it comes to art that I can engage with, whether that's writing or music or drawing, whatever. So I hate to sound like one of those guys, but I genuinely love everything. If you put music in front of me, I can go this is sort of the thing we talk about over on Foil Variant with that intellectual honesty. I always want to look for, hey, what can I find in this music? What is good in this music? Yeah. And so I like a lot of stuff. My main weaknesses are obviously, more rock music, pop punk sort of music, rap music, and female pop stars. I love them so much. I know it's probably the one, like, most, how do I put it? Like, my most normie quality that I'm willing to acknowledge out in public is that those damn record companies and those damn music producers with their, scientifically engineered ways to make pop music really popular and sound good and catchy. It gets me every time. So yeah, Sabrina Carpenter is my current jam right now, mostly because she's in Fortnite, so I've been hearing her everywhere, and now she's just stuck in my head, so I've been playing it on repeat these last couple weeks. Ariana's one of my favorites. I don't think I listened to the most recent album more than once, but it was good. I love Robin. I love Taylor. Everybody here by now should know that I am a giant Taylor Swift fan. Like, short of if I were a 12-year-old girl, you would call me a Swiftie. Like that. I just love her music a lot, and I will not apologize for what I like. Right. So love her. Love Blondie. Just female pop vocals hit. I don't know what it is, but yes. If I had to rank all of my female pop stars, it's really going to be Taylor Swift at the top. Everybody else sort of, I guess it probably really would go like Taylor Swift, Ariana is either in like 2 or 3. Most of the rest, like Sabrina, it all just sort of goes into the miasma. Selena Gomez for me is going to go, like, she goes into the miasma of female pop artists. Like, I know after this week or these next few weeks, it's going to be a while before I pop in a Sabrina Carpenter album again. But I will pop in a Taylor Swift album all the time. So, all that to say, she's not good in Wicked. All right? Like, I just have to say it. You guys know me. Again, giant art dork, so I love musical theater. It is one of the things I love the most. It's music combined with acting, combined with just art. Mwah, perfect. But I've seen Wicked a couple times before. I do have a very well-connected uncle, I guess you could say, out in Chicago. So he's gotten us tickets to go see it there. I actually like that play a lot. This is sort of a side note. For those of you who aren't familiar with what Wicked is, it is probably the first of or how do I put this? The story of Wicked is basically, you don't know what really was going on in Wizard of Oz. There's a whole, like, misunderstood villain plot going on with the Wicked Witch of the West and Glinda and all that stuff. It's really, really good. Well, the first half is really, really good, where they play into, like, all of the fantastical elements of Oz and all that. Second is very basic. It's kind of like, we just got to wrap the story. I'm not a big fan of the second half. But overall, I always feel really bad because Wicked is, like, I'd say that was one of the first to, like, stories to do the misunderstood villain. You don't really know her side. And I remember, talking to Jacob and Cider and Nerdigans and everybody when the movie was coming out, and they were all just going, oh, here we go again, sympathetic villain. And I always feel bad because it's like, you were that, like, Wicked did it first. Everybody else is copying Wicked. Wicked was arguably the one that launched that whole trend. So I'm always like, they don't deserve that. But to the Wicked movie itself, so the reason I bring up the play is because I've caught some of the songs, some of the clips on YouTube of the live action movie. For all her craziness, Cynthia Erivo, the woman who plays Elphaba, the Wicked Witch, the green-skinned one, we all know she's crazy, right? We've all seen every interview she's ever done. She, I'm holding space for this, or wow, it's racist if you try to Photoshop the movie poster to look more like the play poster, even though every medium, every fandom in the history of forever has done that anytime they get, like, we were all like MCU fans at one point, right? Every time they went, oh, here's your first look at Spider-Man in Civil War. First thing everybody does is, oh, hey, I got rid of those lines. Now it looks more like the comic books. And if you guys remember, she lost her mind when they did that to Wicked because she thought it was racism. You're erasing me, blah, 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 blah. She's crazy. But I have to give credit where credit is due, sort of like Andrew and I do with Mark Waid. She is such a good actress that when I watch that movie, she's like, she disappears into the role for me, right? Like, I see that character. However, when I see Ariana, it's the complete opposite, right? I love Ariana. I think she's really talented. She's not a good casting here. It's so weird because it feels like here's a genuine Broadway star who can lose herself into the role and is sort of crazy in the old school 1970s crazy celebrity, right? When we used to just go, they're nuts, but hey, if they can, do a great film, we'll hire them on. So you have like that classic, like really good actress like that sort of casting. And then you have Ariana, which very much feels like we need to put somebody in here because she's, famous. We need that name. That's just what I've been thinking about a lot lately with Ariana. Aside from that, just quickly, that movie is not good. It's not a good adaptation. The thing we all talk about or we all complain about a lot when we get things like a video game an old PS2 game gets remastered for the Xbox One or something, or they Andrew and I were talking about this last night when they sometimes old school comic books before like 2001 comic books used to be very exclusively colored in a flat style, in the sense that all the colors were their own separate block. They didn't bleed into each other. They were very defined. So if you wanted to do, say, Hal Jordan with his, with light shining on him, you wouldn't blend things together or use sort of painting techniques. You would go, here's a layer of green, here's a layer of black, and we're going to make that layer of black like a little lighter or whatever. And then here's a layer of white that we put all over it, right? And when they reprint them, they unfortunately very often do the digital coloring that you saw a lot in the early Ultimate books, like Ultimates and Ultimate Spider-Man, all of them pretty much in that early 2000s era. And like we were talking last night, like it's not great. It kind of, takes away a lot of the charm, the personality, the effect. And yes, it's you have the technology now, great. But do you need to use it? And that's what Wicked feels like. It feels like it's supposed to be, the Wizard of Oz, all of this fantastical stuff. And then the movie is very, very dull. So thank you guys for, and by dull, I mean like the color palettes are really bad. Nobody is bright and it's really bad. Thank you for indulging me on my little musical theater tandem. I've had that on my head, like in my mind for months now. So, or not months, but a couple days. So I'm glad I could finally get that out, and I am not burdened with that alone. Sakaramita says, can I help you for the thumbnail? No, man, I appreciate it, but I'm going to keep the, GMU operations and stuff. I'm going to hang on to that, and then for bounding, we'll keep that in bounding, but I appreciate the offer. Jingo, what's going on? Jingo says, did you get my DM? I think bounding should cover Pascal's Rowling comments and shirt. With no recourse, unlike Carano's way more benign actions. So I did get your DM, and I'm going to just address this really quick. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. So yes, there is the Pedro Pascal calling out J.K. Rowling for, I'm going to be honest with you guys, and this is, again, I'm a straight shooter. I don't really care whether this loses me followers or clout or whatever. Early on, when J.K. Rowling was speaking out against transgender controversies, she had a point. A lot of her early rhetoric was, we need to talk about, delineating spaces for, like, biological women or trans, like, it was, just basic sort of stuff that we need to think about as a society before we just go off the deep end. I don't know what happened in the last, I would say 6 or 7 months. She's just, you guys know this if you've been a long time watcher of the show. And because I am very, this gets to me a lot and I call it out. Ever since the re-election of Trump, there has been a wave by, online right-wingers, and I don't just mean conservatives, I mean the ones who treat politics like like a team sport. They have just seen the re-election as an excuse to ramp up their cruelty. And so in the recent months, I have noticed that J.K. Rowling went from, we need to talk about, these really important issues that nobody is addressing, and saying, yes, I have transgender friends, I have all this, to just being the smarmiest kind of online, like, grifter bitch, right? Like, did you check your Adam's apple? Just like all that kind of stuff. Here's what really made me laugh before coming on, and I didn't know if I was going to bring it up, but I guess we're here. She got called out by Pedro. Everybody's talking about it. Somebody on Twitter was like, wow, this is so pathetic that they had, everybody's rallying around Pedro Pascal. J.K. Rowling replies to that tweet and goes, I don't even know who he is. I had to Google him. And it's like, okay, this is pathetic, right? Like, you know who Pedro Pascal is. It doesn't matter whether you're really into movies or Marvel or Star Wars. The guy is fucking everywhere. This is something we all complain about all the time. And if he's not in a big banger IP movie, he's on all of those, Vogue interview things that people love to do. So everybody knows him. So yeah, in recent months, J.K. Rowling has just, to me, gone off the deep end, and I can no longer, in good faith, say, like, yes, she's not, just speaking from a place of hate or just speaking from a place of, concern, or not concern, but it's very genuine that something has broken in civil society at large across the world in terms of cruelty is the point. Let's do anything to own the chuds, own the libs, own the chuds. That's what anything is anymore. So many people have turned real life into team sports where they don't care how bad their team is doing as long as they can go, hoorah, hoorah, let's do a chant in the stands. So in terms of Pedro Pascal, it is on our docket to cover. We have it, we've discussed who's going to take it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it. I'm sure if I don't, Cider will. However, I do want to make this, clear to not just you, not clear to you because you already know this, but I want to reaffirm this to you, Jingo, and I want to make this, clear to anybody out there who is watching. In case you didn't know this, and I've not hidden this, but I'll just put it out there flat and straight. I am pro LGBT all the way. I am fully in support of gay marriage. I am fully in support of gay rights. If you want to transition to a man, you can. I think that we need to also, there needs to be a concession about, we also need to have some honesty from the transgender side about real life health issues, real life, medical information, all of that sort of stuff. Obviously, the rhetoric on both sides needs to come way the hell down. So I will always use a person's preferred pronouns. I don't care if I disagree with them. I don't care if everybody else on the planet will say this is stupid. One, I don't feel the need to contribute any more to the cruelty in the world than is already out there, right? You can have 500 John Della Roses, John F. Trents going, you fucking gross tranny, blah, 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 blah. Do I need to do that? No, I can, A, I don't think like that, but B, if that person is already facing those sort of, attacks, I don't need to pile up on them and keep going, oh, by the way, you're a man. Oh, by the way, you're a man. What is the point in that? It's just bullying people. So I will always respect that because to me, guys, I don't believe in any religion. I think all religions are cockamy. And I think, whether you're following a religion or you are, transgender, or you're trying to, you're trying out non-binary, we are all just trying to survive in this world. As long as you're not actively harming somebody else, go for it. If you're one of those people who is afraid of, oh, gay people exist, they're out there, that's on you, and you need to, that's for you to parent. It's not for you to ban everybody out there. It's not for you to project your insecurities onto. So, and just, this is another thing that's been sort of on my mind. We're Mav soapboxing for the next 5 minutes, guys. We're here. Oh gosh, what was the soapboxing I was going to do? I've been thinking about it all week, and well, not to soapbox, but I've been thinking about the topic, and now, so I've been getting really, really fed up. So in general, I've gotten really fed up with the sort of online right, the online libertarian right, because where once they would rightfully call out, you know, the Democrats or left-leaning individuals, they do not hold that same water when it's somebody on their team, when it is Trump, you know, blatantly throwing us into a constitutional crisis, disappearing people off the street, sending them to foreign, you know, essentially death camps at this point. It's bad times all around, and we all should be calling this out instead of going, what about Biden? What about Stop doing all of that bullshit. But one of the things I see regularly raised by that contingent of online discourse is, oh, so much for the tolerant left. What happened to being tolerant? Oh, you insulted me. Why? Like, I'm sorry. What happened to being tolerant? So first of all, if you ever use that, you're a bitch. Full stop. I don't care who you are. You could be Grant Morrison. You could be Taylor Swift. You're a bitch if you use that sort of rhetoric. But here's the thing with this contract of tolerance in real life is, if that is what it is, right? It's a contract of tolerance. I'm saying, if you can, you know, tolerate me, if you can, you know, be cool with my existence over here, even if you don't like it, I'll be cool with your existence over there, even if you don't like it, and we can find a way to coexist. Too often, you know, if somebody goes, oh, I'm not going to respect you, Spencer, I'm not going to tolerate the fact that you support gay people, or that you like Ben Reilly, or that for some reason you can't get enough of Jubilee. If somebody starts, you know, breaking that contract, why am I obligated to still play by that contract, right? If I go buy a car and I agree, okay, I'm going to pay $1,000 a month. It's a little pricey, but this dealer says that every month, because I'm paying extra, they will send me 2 Nintendo Switch games. I'm just making up something, right? They say 2 Nintendo Switch games every month if you buy this bonus package. And then they stop giving me that, or they start only giving me 1. What you would say, I'm well within my rights to go, you're not engaged in the contract anymore. I don't have to honor it as well. And you have no intention of honoring it. So what am I doing here? Right? So anybody who says, oh, so much for the tolerant left, it's bullshit, because they don't tolerate, like, they have no tolerance for you. So it's all just bullshit, guys. I'm getting more and more fed up every day with sort of where we are as a country, with just attacking everybody, whether you're a progressive, whether you're a conservative. We're in really bad times. And let me just tell you, it is a struggle every day to not just come on to this show and be like, wow, America's fucked right now. But yes, we will probably cover it at some point. We will see. Jingo says that Spider-Man retcon. Oh yeah, Andrew and I talked about the latest Spider-Man retcon from Marvel Comics last night on Foil Variant. Marvel, there's not a lot more I can add here, right? Like, I would just be retreading A, everything we said last night, and B, sort of everything we've all been talking about for months, which is, because Marvel is so obsessed with this idea of Peter has to be young, we have to only play around in these weird early eras, and this isn't Peter anymore, right? I told this to Andrew. I highly recommend it. I know most of you guys already do out there, but if you're new here, I highly recommend you go down and you check out Foil Variant, link down in the description. Check it out in the search bar. Very, very simple. But what was it? Oh yeah, Peter Parker, right? We've always known him as sort of like the sheepish nerd. You know, he lashes out sometimes because his parents are dead, but he is mostly a very reserved, very bookish kid, to the point where he's always, you know, sort of getting bullied by everybody. I wrote an article on Bounding about this. Think about, literally, if you were to go up to anybody on the street and say, hey, what do you know about Spider-Man? Whether it's a grandma, a diehard comic book fan, or, hey, we're at the Ariana Grande concert, and Andrew got us backstage tickets because Ariana fucking loves Yaira or something. And we go, hey, Ariana, what do you know about Spider-Man? Your answers are going to be like, oh, after they say something about his powers, you know, bitten by a radioactive spider, shoots webs, crawls on walls, blah, 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 blah. One of the things you're probably going to hear right away is, oh, he was like a bookish nerd. He got picked on a lot. That's one of those core elements of Peter's character, and especially 616 Peter's character, because I am one of those people who is actually very open to, pardon me, I'm open to big swings in different characterizations of characters. However, as Andrew and I talk about a lot, by the way, I realized last week that I referenced like Andrew and Josh so much on this show because one, fun fact, Josh was actually supposed to be the host of this show. I started this show saying like he and I are going to do this together, and he got busy. So, hey, you're stuck with me every Friday. And then, of course, it's because I talk to Andrew like all the time. So I need to add a counter. That's like, oh, Mav talked about Andrew. Oh, Mav talked about Josh. Oh, Mav talked about that. So, as Andrew and I always say, if you're going to do a different version of this character, that's all good, as long as there's still some element of who that character is at their core, right? For example, as much as I like that it is the sort of stockier, slightly Dark Knighty interpretation of Batman, Ben Affleck's Batman is a very odd duck to me, right? I like his visuals. I like Ben a lot as Batman, but Batman, no matter what you do with him, he's not extrajudicially going to torture people, right? He's not going to break into Arkham and burn people. We even saw, for example, Absolute Batman, easily the most like brutal, ready to kill Batman, or like. Let me go to the let's go to the big board. All right, everybody. We have visuals. I do this all the time. I just get caught up in talking to you guys, and I forget that we're in a visual medium, and I can actually show you guys everything. So let me grab the picture. Did I move it? Where'd it go? Sort by. Oh, that's why, because I'm being stupid. So, if you guys caught Foil Variant a couple weeks back, or you're reading Ultimate Batman, Absolute Batman on your own, you will probably have already seen this page. Yay, comic book talk. This is an incredible page from the 6th issue of Absolute Batman, where after a knockdown, drag-down fight with the Black Mask, Batman, at the end of his ropes, he's being choked out. He flips forward his, bat ears, drives him down, stabs Roman in the face, and, like, that's the end of that fight, right? Like, he's done. But I bring this up because even with as brutal of a Batman this is, as we see, is it this page? Like for example, when he's fighting Roman, Black Mask, Roman Sidonis, he's like whacking him with a freaking bowling ball. Guys, we've all held at least like the trainer bowling balls, even if it's 5 pounds, a solid core like crack. If it's not comic books, you're probably dead. But even with this level of brutality out of this Batman, there is, he's not overtly cruel. There's this scene earlier on in the issue where he lands on the boat of Black Mask, and yeah, he takes out all of his goons, but as you can see here, he beats them up and throws them off a boat, but he gives them the life jacket. He's not letting them, drown. Even right here, this little dude comes with a knife, and he punts that baby out into the ocean. And then when his mom, lady, we don't really know who all these people are. I don't even know if we will get an explanation, and that's kind of okay with me. But she jumps off to save the baby kid thing, and even though Bruce is like on a warpath, he still throws her down a life jacket. So you still have Bruce there, even if he is different in his methods, if he's a little more violent. So with Peter, how do I put this? I don't see Peter Parker in the character we're hanging out with now. As Andrew highlighted, yes, when he's Spider-Man, Joe Kelly has a very, very good Spider-Man voice. But whatever the character of Peter Parker isn't the bookworm who, was an outcast, who became something great and eventually rose to the top. It's that aspirational thing we all used to love as a kid, right? Or at least a lot of us, especially anybody out there who loves Spider-Man as much as the two of us. It's that element of, yeah, we were all nerds. We were all beaten up. We were made fun of. We were bullied ostracized to some extent. And yet, look at what Peter did. He went through it, but he still got the girl. He still got the company. He still got all the friends and all. That was like the aspirational thing. This isn't Peter anymore, right? Like, the best way I can put it is when I was a kid, I was a troublemaker. You guys probably know this. My parents, did get divorced when I was young. So between that and various just, frustrations going on in my very young life, God damn, how can I get the blue? How can I get a Bellsprout in my red version if you don't buy me another Game Boy, Mom, and a link cable and another copy of Pokemon Blue, and let me stay out of school tomorrow so that I can get to the right point? Mom, why are you doing this to me? Right? But yeah, as a kid, I was nerdy and all that sort of stuff, but I also acted out. I did, shoplift and get into fights and all that sort of stuff. But when I looked to Peter, I didn't necessarily need to see me. I looked at him and said, that's somebody who's better at handling this than me, and I need to aspire to be him. Yes, Peter gets really angry, and arguably the first panel you ever hear him talking. Hold on, do I have it still? I was laughing really hard at this. Hold on, I can find it very, very quickly. Oh, how could I was so stuck on Sabrina Carpenter when we were loading up that I totally forgot that the other thing that was stuck in my head, and this is probably to your guys' benefit, is that I have for the last 5 days had the stupid Jack Black lover chicken, because I heard it and then everybody I know started doing it. Like, Cider made 2 videos with it, and I'm just like, good gosh, okay, I guess that's gonna be in my head all weekend. But so Peter has a propensity to be a little pissy sometimes. This is the first time you really hear him talk, and he's kind of got that Klebold vibe. If you're rolling with me here, guys, you know what I mean. So I got all that, but what they're doing with Peter is they're taking away everything that makes him unique and turning him into the most blank slate, relatable character, so that everybody can say, oh, I'm just like him, instead of saying, oh, I identify with his character or his aspirations or his what is happening is it's so odd to identify it like this, because obviously it normally happens in reverse, but that the trend we've seen in recent years of, oh, all characters need to look one-to-one just like me, or act just like me and have the same views as me, right? We've seen that all throughout the last decade and a half. And I know a lot of us here, we call it out. We go, that's not really how you want to do character writing. That's not everybody is going to be everybody. So if you try to make something appeal to literally everyone, you're going to get a blob, and it's going to have no defining features, because you just sanded off everything so that everybody, you just try so hard to make it appeal to everybody, which means you're trying to make it appeal to 700 different viewpoints. And it's just not, that's not how you do creative stuff. And what you're seeing is Marvel hearing their fan base, if you will, what remains at least, and going, they want characters who are exactly like them? Well, shit, Spider-Man's our most popular character. How do we do it here? Let's make it so that everybody can identify with him. So now he's a troublemaker. Now he had friends as a kid. He also didn't have friends as a kid. Oh, he had a good relationship with Aunt May and Uncle Ben. Oh, but he also didn't have a good relationship with Aunt May and Uncle Ben. Oh, he was a science genius. Oh, but he also really didn't care about schoolwork. And it's just, when you do that, right, all of those are so contradictory that in the end, we're left with nothing. We are left with the most boring blank slate of a character possible. Sort of we all love Ultimate Spider-Man here, or at least those of us who've read it. Imagine if we got that Ultimate Spider-Man and we had that first arc, and we just, Peter, MJ, you're so good together. This is what we want. And then Brevoort puts his foot down and goes, break them up because we need more, we want Ultimate to sell more and we need people to identify with Peter. And not a lot of people are going to be, not a lot of our demographic is going to be married. Yeah, all the bullshit of like how that's a bad decision and all the rage that would cause aside, what is like, I put this to you guys just as like the rhetorical question. What does that do for Peter's character? It doesn't do anything except make him relatable to somebody else. But now you've just sanded off something that was interesting and made Mr. Generic again, Mr. 616, which is easily the worst version of that character. Oh shoot, what is happening? This is weird, guys. You're all chatting and I see ya, but I am not getting. Oh, there we go. Now all the chat updated. Thank goodness. That was my pause. I saw you guys talking and I didn't see anything I could grab, and that worried me for a second. But yes, I know that was a sort of a multi-jump tangent and a little soapboxing and a little back to Spider-Man, but it doesn't all wrap together. But you've just seen my mastermind ability to magician's hand you to distract you to think that I am very good at transitioning topics. The only way that I could make this even more convincing is if I had a producer who could change the bottom chyron for me with every thought, so you guys would think, ooh, he's right on it. They're ready. They're prepared. This was all planned, right? I need my Jamie, my Joe Rogan Jamie. Pull that up. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I mean, Andrew, is this news? Does anybody doubt that I'm weird? Is that not why we're here, for both novelty, spectacle, and because occasionally the idiot savant has one or two good insights? Hey, volume dealer, what's going on, man? You're earlier than normal. That makes me happy to see. Konnichiwa. Did anybody here ever watch Scrubs? I shout out to our boy Dylan. I know he's the only one who normally gets these references, but that was something JD used to say a lot, was like konnichiwa, and it wasn't racist. It had no real plot relevance. He just would say it, and now it's stuck in my head all the time. And I know it's gonna get me in trouble someday. I know I'm gonna go to oh, you've been invited to the premiere of Godzilla -2. You want to go interview Yamazaki? And I'll go konnichiwa, and he'll go, fuck, baka gaijin. Hey, Jingo says, I'm seeing Revenge of the Sith in theaters soon. That is really cool. Yeah, for those who don't know, they are doing what is it? Oh God, I hate that a 20-year anniversary, or a 15-year. Either way, they're bringing Revenge of the Sith back for, I think it's just the weekend. I don't know if they did any of the other Star Warses recently. I haven't caught any of those, but I did a few years back catch they did for 3 weeks. So back in Southern California when I was in college, they decided to do a screening back in my hometown about 2.5 hours away of across 3 weeks, 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, of all 3 Lord of the Rings extended cuts up on the big screen. And that was back when I was younger. I had more piss and vinegar, so I was like, let's do this, guys. I'm gonna come down every weekend. We're gonna go. And I did. And all that to say, seeing these re-releases on a big screen, it is a different experience, especially when we're so much older. Lord of the Rings, Revenge of the Sith, at least in terms of, I'd say most of us here, we're all probably around the general same age. We were in our, early teens, young adult, preteen eras, maybe just getting into college. So our views, our memories, and all that stuff are so different that it's so cool. I really like it. I don't really go to movies anymore, and that's not because I don't really want to. It's just because I feel like it's a hassle. I did go see the Hatsune Miku movie last weekend because first cinematic feature for Hatsune Miku. I gotta go and support my digital girl. Corey says he's gonna be playing video games. Hey, what you gonna be playing, my friend? I know there's so many good games that have been dropping lately. There is the Oblivion remastered thing, and I'm gonna keep getting to the chat, but I think we'll, you know what? But just because it's not really that big of a topic, but you guys you might remember at the top of the show I said we might touch upon Oblivion, but just because Corey didn't necessarily bring it up, but I'm using it as a cheap excuse to do so. We'll hit the one thing I really wanted to highlight about it, and don't worry, we're not going to spend a lot of time. I'm going to get back to you guys, and we're going to get to our topics. Don't worry. So, yes, if you have been on the internet at all in the last, 3 or 4 days, you'll have seen that it is, okay, it's out of nowhere, but also, if you've been online, you'll know that this has been rumored for at least like 2 months now, with every week a new rumor saying, it's coming now, it's coming now, it's coming now. But regardless, we finally got the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. And as you guys probably remember, I am not, or as I've made very, very clear, I'm not a big high fantasy guy, right? Like Western sword and sorcery. Really, really not my jam. I prefer when things lean more into the fantastical. So if I'm going to get fantasy, I want something like Zelda or Lord of the Rings. I don't really want your Game of Thrones or your just anything like that. And it's nothing like, I don't think the genre is inherently bad. I don't think it's stupid or anything. Obviously, there's things I like. I play Dungeons and Dragons. I play Magic. I like any red-blooded male. When I go to a museum and I see a knight sword, all I want to do is pick it up and just start defending. I got to defend the tribesmen back on the island, right? Using a European sword. Don't really think that hard about it. Filipino Fate Stay Knight. Let's put it that way. But yeah, it's just not for me. You know what I mean? So like, to that end, if you guys have picked up Oblivion Remastered, I have been hearing genuinely nothing but good things about it. It looks fantastic. The only thing I can, how do I put this? I would feel right criticizing because I don't play it. I'm not a big fan of it. I did see that it has a genuinely insane, like, download size, right? Like 106 gigabytes when the original one was maybe 10. And that is just another symptom of the thing we talk about all the time, where Western devs just don't optimize any. And okay, not even Western devs anymore, just devs in general don't optimize. Final Fantasy Rebirth 7 Rebirth is like 116 gigs installed. What are we doing here? Right? If I walked down to the corner store and I met up with my Pakistani friend and I said, "Hey man, can you let me see that PS2 collection you've got in there?" All of that would maybe amount to 20 gigs, if that. Same with the GameCube games he's got on offer, or the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 games. There is no reason for any of this. And I do know that the sizes are because people just aren't optimizing. There was a post to the subreddit, the like Oblivion subreddit or the Elder Scrolls subreddit earlier this week, where somebody was like, what the hell is going on? Why is it taking so long to install, do this, da-da-da-da-da? And he discovered that when the game installed like its language packs, it wasn't just installing like, oh, click this and we're going to flip the graphics and flip the audio tracks that are playing. It installed fresh copies of the game in that language. So technically, if you went, oh, I'm playing in English, let me go to French, you click that, the game shuts off. And so, or like, I'm going to be very general. All of my tech guys out there, you guys know what I'm talking about, but it essentially hangs it for a second, puts it down, and then reboots it up in your save state in the other like installed version. It's absolutely insane. That's not just on Todd. That is, again, Square Enix. It's Microsoft. It's Sony. It's everybody. It needs to stop. But I wrote this piece earlier this week. This is really the only thing that I sort of have to say about Oblivion is Bethesda won, right? If you guys remember, all the way back in the day, they were the ones who truly kicked off the greedy side of microtransactions and all that stuff with their horse armor. Well, here we are 20 years later, and they brought it back. It's not the same horse armor that you could have bought back in the day, which back in 2002 for Oblivion, for the original Elder Scrolls 4, the horse armor DLC let you get one set of armor per horse that gave your horse like 75%, like not 75%, but just like 75 extra health. And in Remastered, it's a different quest line to open up sort of not just horse armor, but it also skins and different armor and weapon sets. So it's not exactly the same, but it's like I'm pissed about it, right? Like all I can really take away from this is like we lost this one, guys. Gamers, to take a quote from a bunch of dipshits who can't be quiet on Twitter. We lost this one because there were so many points where we could have said, nope, we're not doing this. No, I'm not buying any DLC, or I'm not buying stupid DLC. And yet we got outweighed. And yeah, this is Bethesda probably taking a little bit of a victory lap. But hey, they got this one. So it all sucks. But if you are enjoying Oblivion Remastered, I'm super stoked for you guys. I'm always happy when somebody finds something cool to play, or something fun comes down the pipe, if you will. But yes, that's all I really had to say about Oblivion. Hope you're. I have nothing else to add to that. I hope you're playing that, Corey, or playing something you like in general. Oh, Sakura is asking, speaking of which, what happened to episode 2? Sakura is asking about the second episode of the Mav solo mini series over on Foil Variant, which is going forward, guys. Andrew and I try to do Foil Variant every week. Sometimes things happened. You'll know that over the past 2 months. It's been really rocky actually not 2 months, 4 months, ever since I got sick over the Christmas holiday. Everything, I got sick, then Andrew got sick, and then Andrew had a life, and then and we've been all over the place. But in the interest of, doing right by you guys and keeping this going, whenever one of us isn't available, we're going to try to do solo streams where I don't know how Andrew wants to run his. That's going to be his complete, prerogative. On my end, if we get the Mav solo streams, you come hang out. We'll talk about some comics that Andrew and I aren't reading together. Then we'll be playing some comic book related video games, and I mean like old ones. We're going to go back. We're going to learn some comic book history. We're not going to be booting up, Arkham Knight or I don't even, what was the Marvel Spider-Man 2, right? We're not booting up any of that. We're talking Shattered Dimensions. We're talking X-Men Legacy. We're talking Ultimate Alliance 3. So, but more to your question, Sakura, pardon me. Yes, the second episode I did 2 weeks ago when Andrew was out, it is currently under a copyright strike. If you guys remember, in that episode, we talked a little bit about Peter Parker. Surprise, right? Mav wanted to talk about Spider-Man, but I specifically brought up how people forget, as we were looking at where was it? As we were looking at here, Peter was kind of an asshole, right? So I played a clip during that stream from a show called 30 Rock to illustrate. There is a scene in that show where the main character, Liz Lemon, played by Tina Fey, she's going back to her high school reunion, and she's very worried the entire time. And she's like, I'm a nerd. They bullied me. It's going to be awful. And she gets there, and all the popular girls are like, are you fucking kidding? Why did you show up? And it turns out Liz was the actual bully, actual bad person. And I played that 20-second clip to give you all a visual illustration of what I was talking about with Peter. NBC and I have been in a battle for 2 weeks over this stupid clip. So it's down right now because they hit it with a copyright and said, nope, that's our material. Can't do anything. I shot them back with the dispute, said, we literally just watched that clip. I said, this is it. This is Peter Parker. We moved on. Really? And I just heard back from them yesterday or a couple days before, and they went, we don't really give a shit. So I need to sit down and trim out that segment. It'll be back up as soon as that happens, but this is probably the first big battle me or Andrew or anybody related to Wolf or Kabuto LLC. This is the first time we've had a real copyright problem. So I'm in the middle of fixing it. don't worry, it's coming back. And yeah, join us next week for a Mav solo stream, because that is what we'll be doing next week. Punk says, hey, what's going on? Watching the Kings Edmonton Oilers playoff game on TNT. Hey, very, very jealous. My team, I'm a Blackhawks fan. My team, I can't really be mad. We're really bad nowadays, but we did have that run in the early 2010s where we had 3 or 4 Stanley Cups. I'm cool with it for now. But to your night, Punk, are you a fan of either of those teams, or are you just checking out the playoff games? Either way, let me know. But I will be honest with you. If you're a Kings fan, I'm gonna have to finger waggle, just because, as San Diego born and bred, all LA sports teams are legally required to lick my butt. Tehillim is here, brother. Shalom and good to see you all. On my way home from the city after collecting my comic book haul. That's what I like to hear. I'm very, very glad, guys, that for all that there is crappy shit out there, and there's a lot of crap, there are still things that I know. There are still a lot of gems out there. I know in particular, Tehillim is loving the Rockefellers out of Image and sort of everything going on with that Ghost Machine universe. Tehillim, now that I have you, and I'm not sort of wrapped up in another conversation like I have been last week's Good Mav Ugly and then the last 2 foil variants, but yes, as you guys might remember, let me just pull it up real quick because we can do that. If you guys were, I don't know if we talked about it here, but we definitely talked about it over on foil variant recently. Jorge Jimenez, one of the best artists in the freaking game, regardless of publisher, of genre, of anything. He recently, well, okay, the timing is, I don't know how to do the timing on this one. So he launched a couple weeks ago an art book through Clover Press, who, if you guys don't know, they are the ones who currently do the really, really nice art collections. They've done them for David Nakayama, Michael Turner. I think Michael Turner got one. Yeah, Michael Turner got one because I can see the Civil War cover. Mike Allred, David Mack. Is it David Mack? No, that doesn't sound right. Whoever did the watercolor covers for like Bendis's stuff. I don't know. I want to say it's David Mack, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, they're really good quality stuff. Jorge Jimenez launched a Kickstarter. It just ended, I believe, like midnight, like yesterday, today. So I know I'm getting to this a little late, but I'm bringing it up now because I did want to say to Tehillim, you specifically, I saw you, buddy. I know you did, when we were talking about it, you did say you were interested. I've been meaning to say this for a couple weeks. As soon as I saw this come up, I did go, where's Tehillim? I went, where's Tehillim? I went to Andrew, I sent him the link, and then as soon as I saw the exclusive, do they still have it up? Yeah, this exclusive cover they're doing for the Kickstarter launch, or the Kickstarter version, with the Super Sons and their dads, I went, Tehillim, where are you, buddy? If I had zillions of dollars and I could buy all of you lovely viewers out there a gift, I definitely would have leapt on this for you, Tehillim. But it is sort of bad timing because, yes, you can't get in on it anymore. It is now closed. Hopefully you all got on it because it's going to be a cool one. I do know, because it happened to me, go check your payment form because they are starting to collect the funds. And if you don't have it, Kickstarter gives you like a week, but you're not going to want to miss this one. Let's just put it that way. But yes, awesome to see you, Tehillim. Glad you're here. Andrew says, well, hold on. I don't, so Punk asks, what cover of Vampirella 1 did you get? I don't even remember. It was, oh yeah, it was this one. And Andrew's gonna laugh because he knows I can never pronounce his name right, but the Isa Chudadakalis cover. This is the one I got. So it bums me out too because I love Chakadis's work, but I've never gotten. This is my first one with his art on it. So stoked to have it. Just a little bummed that it took me this long to get on the train. Andrew says the order goes: Ariana, Mariah, Sabrina. Ooh, I totally forgot about Mariah Carey. See, we're gonna have to do a stream where we pull up one of those like tier chart things, and we all the great good Mav ugly female pop star debate, right? Like we'll rank them someday, because now I'm super interested. Let's see. Volume Dealer says the spin-off Lucifer series from DC Vertigo was like that, where Lucifer is the anti-hero. I don't remember what I brought up, but if you remind me, I know I'll be able to jump right back onto it, and I can actually speak to it. So hit me up with that, Volume Dealer. I'm just saying, Andrew, if Slash is a confirmed Rippaverse fan, who else is out there? You know what I mean? And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, because I just make references that I presume everybody knows, because they're all hanging out on the internet with me. But yes, a couple weeks ago, or not even weeks ago, like earlier this month, okay, 21 days ago, so actually 3 weeks ago, somebody snapped a photo of Slash, like Guns N' Roses Slash, wearing a genuine Rippaverse hat out at an event. I even asked Andrew, it wasn't, it's not like Slash is Caro's uncle or something, or he is actually working on a project with them, as cool as that would be. This is legitimately just, I like it, I'm Slash, I'm wearing the hat out in public. So, you never know. Let's see. Man, why is my chat is being so dumb and not like being accurate, so I can't see what you guys are all saying. I'm going to jump in here right where it says here. So we'll jump back in with Corey, because the chat just jumped up. I'm tired, so I'm off to bed. Hey, I'm just glad we got a little bit of time with you, Corey. Rest easy, my friend. I'm glad you don't have work tomorrow. You wake up in the morning, you go to the bathroom, and you get your ass right back in bed. That's an order, young man. But until then, I'll see you soon, my friend. Volume Dealer says, I want the Vader popcorn bucket grift. It's probably going to be sold for more than the Switch 2. Here, I haven't seen it. Let's see. Vader popcorn bucket. Let's see. Okay, so this is the popcorn bucket. Let's oh, it has like sound effects? How do I open it? Where's my popcorn go? See, this is funnier to me. The cup with the big ass dumb straw popping out of the top of the head. That's funny to me. But where is everybody is saying? Okay, there's a hat, or no, there's a popcorn bucket and a cup, but nobody is showing. Okay, there we go. That's how it opens up. That's gonna be a fancy one. I definitely don't. I think you're onto something there, Volume Dealer. This is probably gonna go crazy in the secondhand market. This is just. How do I put this? I know you're thinking about it in like the resale sense, Volume Dealer, but just to bring the topic to a general, I've never gotten the popcorn bucket trend, man. It has just never. It seems over like performative almost, right? I hate to use this term, but it feels very Reddit. Like, oh, I got a like I spent $60, $70 on a popcorn bucket of the Ecto 1, a popcorn bucket of the Dune. Okay, the Dune one's funny because it does look like a butthole, but I spent $80 on the Wolverine face, and nobody ever reuses them. So then you're just kind of left with a subpar piece of merchandise. I don't know. I've never seen the appeal. Somebody maybe, again, it's all personal, different strokes for different folks. I know there's probably a lot of popcorn bucket guys out there who are going, why the fuck does he pay, above 25 cents for any piece of cardboard when he's playing like Magic? I get it. I've just never, it's one of those things that I'm glad about, right? Where it's like, I'm glad I don't have to worry about any of this crap. I know my heart goes out to anybody who is trying to collect and is trying to grab these, but it is a good feeling where I'm like, man, I don't really care. Kind of like when everybody was freaking out about the Switch 2 pre-orders this week. Guys, we've been here before. we've seen console launches. Why are we getting launch consoles, especially from Nintendo, when it has one killer app, but then you're not getting anything for 7 months? It's just one of those things. I will admit there is, as always, there is one exception to my what is the right term here? My aversion. That's what I was looking for. There is an exception to my aversion for popcorn buckets, and I will admit, I do actively look for these when they're on eBay. They do not go down in price. But a few years ago, when they did the last Evangelion remake movie, they did 2 separate popcorn buckets of the Ava 1 and Ava 2 head. And I genuinely want these because this is actually not a sort of merch that we have otherwise. We don't really have big Ava model, like head models. We have big models and nice models, but nothing sort of like this. This is the only one I'd ever want, but I'm not paying more here. So this image came from eBay. Let's go to eBay and see. Let's see how much those are going for right now. Just top of our head. Oh, they came down in price, but this is what I'm talking. Well, Unit 2 didn't, but see. Let's zoom in so you guys can actually see what I'm complaining about. Woo 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 woo. Right, so we've got like $85 here. I'm just taking down Volume Dealer just because it's blocking. Don't worry, still love you. Yeah, $85 for the Ava 1. Ava 2 is $220 with the discount one down here being $159. I can't, I can't, man. I just, in good conscience, I can't spend more than $20 on any of this. That can't be real. What? That's got to be this has to be a custom one. There's no. Oh wow! You got okay. This popcorn bucket, I did not know this existed. This is a exclusive. So this is obviously Mechagodzilla in the Unit 01 colors from Ava. Didn't know this existed, but it makes sense. It is from Universal Studios Japan, where if you guys don't know, they have. Think about all the times you in your life have gone to Universal or Disney and gone, man, wouldn't it be cool if there was like an anime themed ride, or if I could go to like a Kingdom Hearts, or not a Kingdom Hearts theme, but like, yeah, just some sort of themed thing like that. It exists in Universal Japan, and that's where like the Nintendo world is, the Ava world is. So now I want that. But again, I'm not paying 200. Yeah, you soy face at this Godzilla bucket. You soy face. That is too much money. 214. Get out of my face. Let's see. Andrew says, going back to Oblivion, it should have been the exact same horse armor, charged $1 for it, and made the base game $58.99. That would have been based. That would have been funny, and it actually does work because I don't really know the release history of Oblivion, but they did say like, oh yeah, you buy the standard edition of the remastered, and it comes with the horse armor DLC. And I'm just like, come on, man. Come on, man. Let's see. Yes, Andrew says, regarding do I still have him up? I do. The Jorge Jimenez book, he says he finally placed his order. I got the slipcase plus dust jacket plus sketchbook. Oh, you didn't go for the prints. I know that the print set was a little bit up there, but it's also cool. Whatever, as long as you got your hands on one of these, I'm sure it's going to be rad. I unfortunately am a little strapped for cash, so I could only go for the exclusive one right here, just the basic $90 book with the exclusive case, but I'm happy with it. Hey, that's awesome. Punk says he's just watching the playoffs, but his teams are the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Seattle Kraken. I know a lot of Lightning fans. I actually really respect them as a team. I also have a lot of buddies who love the Kraken, so those are two really good teams, and hey, good luck to you guys. You guys, anybody else who, as long as, if there's a team that's in the playoffs and it's not mine, but it's one of your guys's, of course that's where I'll throw my, support behind. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Right. Yes, Volume Dealer. When you were talking about Wicked, the villain is actually misunderstood. Lucifer, he is portrayed in that light. Yeah, so that's the thing, is like, that too, because Lucifer is from, the 80s, early 90s thing. That's where I kind of have the same look at Lucifer as I do with Wicked, where they set the sort of stage for this, but they came in so late that it can't help but feel like, oh, this is just pandering. This is really, really bad. All that noise. So, uh, yeah, I'm not against villains being misunderstood stories. I think that is a thing that happens in real life, or not villains per se, but, you know, I think it's a good lesson to do. Put yourself in other people's shoes, look at all sides of the story. The problem is it's so overdone lately, and it's so cheaply done. There's no real it like, for example, in Wicked, Elphaba, yes, she's shown as the underdog, the downtrodden, but she's also, you know, not helping her case. She goes out to torment everybody. She does, you know, lead a rebellion against the Wizard of Oz. Most of these stories nowadays, you don't get that flaw. Everybody just goes, "Oh, it's okay. We're so sorry for you, man. Like you committed, you know, you blew up an entire planet. You're fine. Just come hang out with us. You know, beers in the fridge." So again, it's all about how execution is done. And I also, what's his name? That dude is just so handsome. The guy who plays Lucifer, ridiculous. Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't worry, Volume Dealer. Like I'm not saying they're all dumb, right? Like again, I just pointed out the Ava ones I like. I do like the jokiness of the Dune popcorn bucket. Even though I made fun of it, I will say the car popcorn bucket, so like the Batmobile and they did for Flash, and then the Ecto one they did for Ghostbusters. I like they're not bad, like actual like car toys, and they move. So I do like that. It's just sort of it's just one of those things that I collect so many things, from figures to video games to vinyl records to instruments to comic books to trading cards. You all know that, but I look at popcorn buckets and I go, I don't know, man. Feels Reddit to me, because again, that's what I think I get down to, is like, it's performative. If you really, really wanted to do, hey, I like the Ava helmets, right? Like here, I'll pull it back up. Do I want to? And let's be fair. Let's say, you know, we all took a GMU trip to Universal Studios Japan. I'm taking all of you with me. Everybody who's watching, not chatting, and everybody in the VOD. We're all going, and we get to Universal Studios Japan, and we go up and we get the bucket or we see the bucket for, let's say, regular retail price of $50-$60. Okay, yes, there's the novelty of I can eat my popcorn in this fun bucket, but that is what I'm paying for. If I wanted a good Evangelion figure, I can get really solid things for $60 US, whether they are, you know, like maquettes or statues or Revel Techs or Figu Arts. They're all over the place. I can get a good figure, and that to me is like, oh, this is a quality piece. I'm actually, you know, getting this because I like the show, rather than going like, hey everybody, I like Evangelion, right? Like, you see my popcorn bucket, and then you put it on your shelf at home, and they go, what's that? My popcorn bucket that I got at the, and it's just, I don't know. It's that performative aspect of it, I guess. I don't know. It's just not really getting behind it on me. Andrew says, I really wanted the print portfolio sets, all of them, but I couldn't justify the price right now, even if I could afford it. Hey, it's okay. As we've seen with certificates of authenticity, you can just find that bad boy over on eBay in a couple days. Hey, Retromeister, what's going on? The Wolverine popcorn bucket from Deadpool and Wolverine was crude, but its marketing was genius. I actually agree with this. A lot of people, you know, for lack of a better term, the woke right kind of like got their panties in a bundle, or going, oh, this is so blah, blah. They, like, come on, guys. It's a hilarious fart joke. What? So no, I'm right there with you. I didn't want it, but I did think that the marketing, I was like, all right, I'll give that one to you guys. Let's see. Finally, I have caught up. We are all here. Thank you, Volume Dealer. Sandman was 1988. So yeah, right around the era, right before all of this started popping off. It's just timing, right? Like it sucks, but it is what it is. Speaking of things that suck, I don't really have a good transition here. I need to vamp while I pull up the topic of where we are going to go next. Let's finally get into some topics. I know we always lose ourselves to having fun in our popcorn chat, if you will, which is, you know, I don't mean literally popcorn, but I mean, you know, pop, we're going all over the place. So, grab this. Andrew says, the only special popcorn bucket I've ever purchased at a theater was the Godzilla X Kong one at my AMC. So, like, in that sense, if you go and you buy, like, one, and, or two or three, and they are for, let's say, like, your favorite thing. If you guys don't know Andrew as well as I do, he loves not just Godzilla, but specifically the legendary verse take on Godzilla. So if I went over to his house and I saw he had that, I'd go, that was Andrew sort of doing the, you know, I'll buy the t-shirt of the band that I just saw sort of thing. Because he really, really, really likes them. Sort of if you all came over to my place and you saw, you know, Mecha Kiryu here sitting on my shelf, you would go, he loves Evangelion and Mecha Godzilla, and that is true. But if you went over to somebody's house and they had shelves of all of them, you would go, popcorn buckets of all things? Okay. To me, popcorn buckets is almost one of those hobbies where it's like, if you have too little, like you, how do I put this? Popcorn, like a collection of popcorn buckets is only cool if you have a lot of them. And so like that threshold to like where does it become cool is very, very, very far ahead. So you'll spend probably like 10 years going, yeah, do you want to come see my collection? And everybody will just go, oh, he just has an unnatural, like an unnatural amount of popcorn buckets. I don't know about this one, man. But then you go and you see like the big wall or whatever, and everybody goes, ah, impressive. The uncanny valley of collecting, if you would, right? But speaking of collecting, speaking of being fans of things, and speaking of disappointment, have you guys heard the news about Magic the Gathering and Spider-Man? Let's get into this. This is one of those perfect intersections of things that you guys know I won't shut up about. Obviously, it's Magic the Gathering. Obviously, it's Spider-Man. So, yeah. How do we want to approach this? How do I want to get into this? So, the headline of this story, if you will, is basically Magic fans are now discovering that Marvel hates Spider-Man. We are finally branching out to a completely new demographic or fan base, if you will, and they are seeing that despite how popular he is, Marvel just really hates the guy. So, let me pull up the link to the actual site for, oh man, what region are we in? I was going to put French just because I'm a cocky little dipshit and I can go, oh, I'll read French. But then I realized, oh, I'm showing it to all of you. And I don't know if any of us speak French out there. You know, shout out. I know he watches sometimes. My boy Deviant Porg. I know he is actually in France. Shout out to him. If you guys speak French, I highly recommend go subscribe to him on YouTube. He does a semi-daily or not semi-daily, like every other day live stream where he talks about the news from a intellectually honest and an excited perspective. So if you dig what Andrew and I do and you can speak French, I highly recommend you go check out my boy Deviant Porg. But all that aside, so yes, in case you guys didn't see earlier this year, Magic. So actually, let's rewind just a little bit further back. Let's go back to the far off year of 2010. I believe that was when it. Wait, let me make sure that was the actual year. Now I'm like scared. Was that the right year? That does not seem like the right year. Let me double check. Okay, that was too far back. the magical year of 2021. I believe that's right. No, 2020. So, in 2020, Magic the Gathering finally broke its how do you want to put this? It's kayfabe, if you will, and they finally decided that they would be introducing crossover sets. They are called Universes Beyond, and they consist of either very small secret lair drop sets, which are their, first come, first serve, go to their website. When they announce it, grab them. small limited pack of like 5 cards or something. You can get characters from there, or sometimes they get either full-on sets or subsets within larger sets. For example, there was a set called Brothers War that came out a couple years ago. In it, there was a very small subline of about 30 Transformers cards, right? Like with the actual Autobots, Decepticons on them. So they are controversial, to say the least, in the Magic community all around. The big divide comes down between a lot of people see Universes Beyond as sort of eroding what the spirit of the game is, you know what I mean, right? Like, these aren't the characters and the planeswalkers and the lore we've all been sort of, you know, involved and invested in recent years. You're just taking in anything that's popular and putting it here. It's sort of, you guys have probably heard the complaints from old school Call of Duty players that in recent years with Warzone, where the game once used to be more grounded and tactical, now you've got Nicki Minaj running around on the field, and you've got Godzilla, and you've got there's some anime that made it into Call of Duty that was super random. But yeah, so a lot of Call of Duty players go, what is this? This is not, why are we sort of clown showing what all of this is supposed to be? And I to be fair, I do understand it. I think we all understand that sentiment, right? Where we have seen things we love get sort of run roughshod over, things introduced into them that we didn't really like, but hey, this is gonna sell, this is gonna do XYZ. It does happen, and we all can attest that it oftentimes does not work, does not make our given hobby, if you will, any better. But I have to admit, I like the Universes Beyond sets, right? So I'm a Commander player, which is a very specific format of Magic where you pick one specific like leader card and you build a deck around its colors, all that stuff. One of the things Commander communities like to do are theme decks. So instead of trying to, can you make the best deck to win super fast, you build a deck around a mechanic, or you build a deck around a character or a certain set of art, right? For example, I have a deck based around Captain America and the Avengers. So my leader card or my commander is Cap. I have Craig Boone from Fallout in there as my Hawkeye. I have Chandra in there as my Planeswalker, as my Black Widow. I have this card called Deploy to the Front that has, it's magic white circles dropping off a bunch of soldiers onto the front, kind of like an endgame. So I really like doing that. And but I understand it's such a clash of culture. So I like them. I'm never going to, denigrate anybody for saying I don't like them or I think they're ruining Magic, because I get it. I would feel the same if, One Piece cards all of a sudden started doing a crossover set with Ferrari, right? Or whatever, blah, 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 that kind of thing. So I get it. But I also will just come clean and say I like them. To that end, I do want to note this. So I feel like a comedian who's like working on a joke, because I realized this a couple weeks ago, and I just haven't really come up with like the right snappy way to really like fire it off. So in terms of what sets we have seen so far for Universes Beyond, we have seen Walking Dead, or not even sets, but just what crossovers have we seen here in Universes Beyond. We have seen The Walking Dead, and we are looking here at the MTG Wiki. We have seen The Walking Dead, Stranger Things, Arcane, Street Fighter, Fortnite, Warhammer 40K, Transformers, Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings, Creepshow, Doctor Who, Evil Dead, The Princess Bride, Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, Tomb Raider, Clue, you fucking weirdos over there in like the UK or the EU where you can't say just Clue, Fallout, Miku, Assassin's Creed, Monty Python, Ghostbusters, Child's Play, Marvel, SpongeBob, and then this year we are getting, so normally across a given year we get 6 Magic releases, right? Like 6 full sets. Now, I could go on a full, 9-hour rant about how I hate that because I buy. So, I hate Magic's release schedule because it's just so frequent that card prices and card strategies just immediately evaporate, and it's so hard to sort of know, when to buy something or if your strategy is even going to be viable in a week. I'm not one of those people who, buys for value, but for example, there is this card. Let me find it. It is a beautifully drawn card that I have had my eyes on for a while. Let me get a big one. A big one. Big red one. Do you guys remember that Call of Duty game? That was actually kind of a good one. And then they just went into going, oh, we're just going to make stupid sequels for the rest of our lives. But, so, with like Magic's release set schedule and everything, right? So, we just got a set this year called Aether Drift. We got it like a month or two ago. And this was one of the cards that is featured in there. It is this anime rendition of Chandra shooting her, fire out. If you play Magic, Chandra's Ignition. If you run red, it's kind of a staple. Everybody runs one. I really want this card. I was ready to, when the set dropped, to grab it for, $20 because I went, yeah, it is super rare. It's got a really special art treatment. Makes sense. Things got away from me. I didn't make any purchases. I just looked her up this week. She's only worth $12 now. Do you know how mad I would have been if I did that and she just dropped that fast? And it's because they're already starting to reveal the next few sets of cards. I digress. So yes, we normally get 6 full set releases in a year. This year we are doing 3 regular Magic sets and then 3 Universes Beyond, which is very, very different. And those 3 are going to be Final Fantasy, Spider-Man, and Avatar: The Last Airbender. Okay, whatever with that last one. I care about that last one so little that I always forget that it's even on the list. Now, just so here's I run you guys through that list because here's the help me with the snappiness on this one. I go through this list, and as much as I love Magic and as much as I love collecting and playing and all that jazz, when I look at the Universes Beyond, this is Reddit, man. Like, I have to admit, this is the most Reddit card game we have gotten. Just look, like, The Walking Dead, and specifically the TV show, Stranger Things, Arcane, which is the League of Legends show, Street Fighter, Fortnite, Warhammer, Transformers, D&D, LOTR, Doctor Who, Spider-Man, Tomb Raider, Fallout. Like, I love a lot of these properties, right? Miku is my love. I love Spider-Man. I have all of the Final Fantasy stuff on pre-order. I have a lot of the, I got all the Marvel cards. I have a lot of the, what was it? Where's the other one I have a lot of? I have all of the Street Fighter ones. I have a couple of the Transformers ones. Like, I like this stuff, but I also just look at this and I'm like, this is the most Reddit, like, list of properties. You absolutely, cannot, like, you can't deny that this is Reddit. Look, I know that's predicated on me being funny. That is why I am going to you guys. I'm going to the public for help. You guys tell me how the delivery should be funny. But yes, I've just noticed lately, like, man, Magic, you're going full Reddit. And then, what are the sets we get this year? Spider-Man, Final Fantasy, and Avatar: The Last Airbender. You can't get more Reddit than that. I don't even know what franchises are left. Like, Fast and the Furious, a Skyrim set. The possibilities are endless. Pro tip, not how you do it. I know. This is why I'm asking for help. Look at this. This is where we are in America. You try to ask for help and you get mocked down and shouted down. We used to be a country that loved our neighbors. Damn it. But I don't even remember what I was saying. Yeah, I have no. Oh, right. Sakura says it's better to leave Magic. It is. I'm not going to lie to you. Objectively, the game is not in a good state. Wizards is kind of really crap in the bed with their current level of ownership, stewardship over the game. I play the game, one of the reasons I actively play the game is because I have friends in real life who it's sort of, we've been friends for years. It's the activity we all hang out and do on our casual time. It's when we get to see each other, all that sort of fun stuff. And like, I won't lie. I like these cards. I like a lot of the properties that are on these cards. I remember, I don't even remember what it was I bought, but, a couple when the Marvel sets came out. So when they did here, let's get some visuals. See, this is why I need a Jamie, right? Like, hey Jamie, pull that up. So a few months ago, I actually don't remember when specifically they did this bundle, but pardon me. There. So yes, a few at the end of last year, Marvel and Magic did their first crossover set where it was a secret lair drop. It was focused around 5 different heroes. You got one hero as a leader, as a commander, and then you got 4 other cards that were themed around them. So the cards were the leaders were Captain America, Iron Man, Black Panther, Wolverine, and am I missing one of them? Actually, that might and Storm. And Storm. So when I got this set, I legitimately messaged Andrew and I was like, man, I feel bad. And he's like, why do you feel bad? And I'm like, I just spent the 150, 200 to buy this set. And it's like, I should know better than to support Magic. And Andrew, he went, you like it? What? Okay. And that's sort of where I'm at, right? I can acknowledge that there are flaws, and I'm going into engaging with this game knowing that there are flaws, and that is something I have to deal with, right? And I am more open to anybody, just acknowledge that things have flaws, and most people will be okay. But if I were to go, no, this game is great right now, fuck off, there's nothing wrong here, you would all go, come on, man. Come on, man. Oh, I'm so jealous. Tired Andrew is just sipping wine and about to chill with Claire Obscure. I watched a streamer play that last night. It looks really good. I think you specifically are going to really, really like it. Exactly. You can acknowledge the flaw in the things you love and still love them. And then also, as long as this is sort of what I don't know how to properly express this, but what I'm sort of getting at is you have to, we all have to navigate our morality for ourselves. And I don't mean that, yes, I mean that in the extreme senses, but I also mean it here, where you just as long as you can be intellectually honest with yourself, yes, you might love something to death, but it's okay to acknowledge, this Marvel set is kind of a ripoff. Yeah, it sets a bad precedent, all that sort of fun stuff. It's okay to do that. We'll see. Sakura says, PS4 is my final generation to hang out. Time to go back to the old PS1 days. I can't play my PS1 games with, a bunch of online friends unless I walk them through how to set up Fightcade or anything. So we get what we get. We make our concessions where we get our concessions. But to bring this back to what I'm really trying to talk about with Spider-Man and everything is, so previously, before this year, Universes Beyond cards were not allowed in standard legal play, which is the main Magic format, your 60 card deck, 4 types of cards, and go to MagicCon 2026 and win zillions of prizes. You guys remember months back, one of the stream buddies I featured was that lightning bolt card drawn by Peach Momoko. It was black and white. It has the red lightning bolt. That was a prize for the standard tournament last year. So in the interest of trying to keep the game, from exploding and trying to manage all the sets, Wizards said, all right, Universes Beyond can be used all over here. Standard play, not happening. This year, with the decision to do 3 full Universes Beyond sets, Wizards said, all right, check this out. Going forward, we are actually going to make all Universes Beyond sets legal. So starting with Final Fantasy, which comes out in a month, I believe, or no, 2 months from now, starting with Final Fantasy, you can use, Cloud and Sephiroth in your standard play. You can use Aang and Katara in your standard play. Which, again, everybody's opinions on this varies depending on whether you like these cards being in the game or not. However, let's not pretend that there were a lot of people that are going to like, oh shit, Spider-Man's here, Final Fantasy's here, Aang is here. This is cool. Now, here comes the weird, heartbreaking thing, and this is why we're talking about this, is despite these sets all coming to... So, Final Fantasy, Spider-Man, Avatar. All of these sets are getting printed in paper, so like the actual physical cards that we all pick up and play, and then they're also getting digital releases in the Magic the Gathering Online and Magic the Gathering Arena games. For those of you who don't know, I had to actually dig into this for a little bit because I was super confused. Is Magic the Gathering Online is a full desktop-oriented client to play online Magic on. Magic the Gathering Arena, you can play that on your desktop, but it is a mobile-specific game, right? It was developed to play Magic on the go. So these online games, there's some different formats just by the nature of the platforms they're on, but they were all supposed to get... They normally get the same sets that the paper game does, sometimes with a few exceptions, and Universes Beyond was supposed to be the exact same thing. However, earlier this week, we got the announcement that all the sets are coming. So Final Fantasy is going to be in Magic Arena, or Avatar is going to be in Arena and online, but not Spider-Man. For an as of yet publicly undisclosed reason, Marvel has decided that Wizards has confirmed that going forward, while all the sets will be printed in paper for Spider-Man and any future Marvel cards, those are going to be reprinted as a in-universe set, right? So they're basically going to be redoing those cards, giving them all new art, bringing all new names, and bringing them in line with, Magic lore. So instead of Spider-Man, you're probably going to have Jace. Instead of Spider-Gwen, we're probably going to see probably Chandra. Like let's be real with ourselves. And what's my takeaway here, or what am I trying to say? So while nobody has come out and said this is why it's happening, a lot of the speculation is that Marvel said you can't have digital cards specifically because you are going to run up against Marvel Snap, which is Marvel's own proprietary mobile card game. It's actually pretty fun. I would recommend it, but I digress. That is the current speculation, and I can't believe that because it's so stupid. Like, this goes back to the same movie synergy argument we all have all the time, which is audiences are not going to be confused, Marvel or DC, if they crack open a comic book and Clark is not one-to-one exactly like what they saw in the David Corenswet movie, right? Like, we're all adults here. We all know what is going on. So, yeah, this bugs me because there really is no reason for this. Nobody is going to look at a digital Magic card and go, oh, I want a Marvel specific card game. I'm going to this over Snap. Maybe some people will, but that would happen. They weren't going to play Snap anyway because they aren't obviously mechanically interested in it. Yes, exactly. Shinkai, first of all, Shinkai, what's going on? I feel like if you've been here, I didn't catch you, but how's it going, brother? So Spider-Man going to be changed to Jace from Magic the Gathering Australia. Exactly. Those are the kind of things that are going to happen. And I just think this is a huge bummer. It's a big kick in the dick to the big online and arena communities because it's Spider-Man, man. Of course people are going to want these cards, and you announce, oh yeah, we're finally bringing everybody. And then a couple months after you go, oh, by the way, but you're not getting that one. So I don't get it. It's really dumb business practice. I just wanted to sort of bring that up, talk about the, Magic situation as we have it now, let you guys know, in case anybody out there does play the digital versions that you're sadly not getting Spider-Man. I really don't like that. I know, like, they even use the term, you're going to get mechanically, I even quoted it, what is it? Mechanically identical cards. And maybe this is a personal thing, and or maybe it's not, and I'm still mulling it over. But that reminded me too much of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite when that game came out, and the roster had no X-Men, so no Magneto, no Storm, no Cyclops, no Wolverine, all these characters who were staples of the Marvel vs. Capcom games. And when people went, "What's the deal, Capcom?" and "What's the deal, Marvel?" instead of being honest with all of us and going, it's a rights thing. We don't want Fox to get money from having the X-Men. Marvel and Capcom went, "What? It doesn't really matter who the character is. Players only pick characters because of the mechanics, right? So if you might not have Wolverine, but if you have somebody who plays exactly like him, who in the game was Black Panther, what's the big deal?" And it's like, no, yes, mechanics go a long way with it, but I know that I pick characters because I like their designs. I like who they are. That's half the appeal of old fighting game designs and all this stuff. So it's just all nonsense, and I want to commiserate. I'll say my heart goes out to you guys. Yeah, hopefully somebody, kicks somebody in the butt and says this is all really dumb and we get a reversal. But until then, look at this as a good example of why digital games you should be very, very, very cautious with, right? For Arena and online, you buy real cards. Like your collections in that game are built with real money. However, look at what happens. You either, if I spent $5,000 building my decks in Arena and online and I saw Spider-Man coming down the pipe, I would be stoked. But then if they went, "Oh, by the way, you specifically don't get it," well, I just why not? I don't want to now go over to the paper game and re-buy all of that stuff. So it's sort of just this conflux of all the corporate problem ecosystems, not listening to it's everything sort of rolled into one. I wish I could have a more explosive conclusion, but it's just sort of a sucks. And I really hope something does change as we go forward. So Soccer Amita asked, what if Toei owns Spider-Man? Just the character rights. So we would be looking at a very different world, right? We probably would have gotten a couple more Spider-Man seasons. He probably would have shown up in the superhero Tyson movies, the big Kamen Rider Super Sentai crossover ones. We probably would have seen things like that. The bigger curiosity I would want to explore here, and unfortunately, I need to think on it, and because you just threw it at me, I don't have a good answer yet, but I would be more interested in how America, like American media, American Western comics and stuff would look without Spider-Man ever having sort of been on the big board, on the table like that, right? For example, the one that just pops up off of my head, if Spider-Man stayed with, Toei in the 70s and we never got the big media push he got over here from CBS and the Electric Company and then the shows and yada, 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 would the MCU have made everybody try to emulate Spider-Man in being quippy? You know what I mean? Like, would he have had that much of an impact on culture and society to be relevant? I don't know. I wish I could give you a better answer. Admittedly, I have to think about it more. I bring that back up, couple weeks from now or something. Let me think on that. I really like this. This is super interesting. But the main reason I wanted to highlight your comment, Shinkai Sakura, is because the one final stamp I wanted to sort of throw out there while we're on the topic of Magic the Gathering and universes beyond. So when we go back and we look at, the Reddit list of franchises that are in Magic at this point, we have, your Ghostbusters, Child Play, blah, 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 blah. I was sitting with my friends a couple of weeks ago and we were like, what is realistically left to, team up with? Like, what could we realistically see being crossover cards in a Universes Beyond set? And the qualifier there is realistic. Yes, I could say, we're going to see Gundam, or we're going to see Evangelion, or we're going to see a Blink-182 crossover set, but that's all just stupid. We all know that wouldn't happen. But when we were talking in the realm of real possibility, this spark hit me, like, it is only a matter of time until we get a Power Rangers Universes Beyond set. And I absolutely know, much to, mine and Cider and Sakura and everybody else's detriment, it's going to be probably mainly MMPR. Like, maybe they do a secret lair drop and it's the Zeo Rangers or the Samurai Rangers, but it's really going to be, I see it coming within like the next 2 years, right? Somebody mark that on the big board. Within 2 years, we're going to at least get the announcement that there's going to be a crossover Power Rangers set. Because remember, guys, with how bad Power Rangers in that section of Hasbro is doing, the only, like, the main profit thing for them is the Universes Beyond, and they own both of that. I think I didn't point that out at the top, but those dudes own both. So Hasbro has Power Rangers and Magic. They can easily just go, hey, put Tommy in there, put Jason in there. What are we doing, right? So that's where we are with Magic. We will see where we go with this. Fun tease as we go forward. Hopefully within the next few weeks, I was able to snag I went to a secondhand store the other week. There is a chain out here in Arizona that is very, very popular. And it's not like a thrift store. It's like you go in, people look at what you brought, whether it's books or movies or whatever, and they grade it and they say, okay, you want this much for it? Yada, yada, yada. We all know what it is. But while there that weekend, I managed to find literally like the version of the webcam we're using right now, but like released like the month before, for $15. So we are going to get a setup going where I can start opening packs with you guys. We can just hang out. Doesn't have to be so formal. We'll have a webcam pointing down where we just open cards and see anything cool comes down the line. You know what I mean? So excited to see that. And yeah, that is what we've got for Magic. When the Final Fantasy sets come out, when the Spider-Man sets come out, I will definitely be doing, we'll hang out. We'll do some sort of unboxing. I really want you guys to see the trading card layout I have in the works. But yeah, that is Magic. And that's all I really got for that topic. But let's see. What do we want to talk about next? Well, I know what I want to talk about next. And while I do that, before we move on, I'm also very mad. Oh, they don't have it here. They're doing 5 welcome, like how do, here we go. I think it's on this page. So, they're doing the standard product release. You get your booster packs, your collector boosters, your bundles, blah, 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 blah. But they're not doing commander decks. They're doing welcome decks, which are supposed to be more for the standard play. But I'm so bummed, guys. Like, here are the 5 themes. Peter, Miguel, Venom, Gwen, Miles. Sure, I get it. But he was right there, guys. Like, even if you just did a Chasm one, I feel like that would even... I can't believe I'm going to say this. That would be more thematically interesting than having all 5 of these dudes. Like, I don't know. They all feel too closely related to me at this point. But that is a Mav bitching for another day. I need to pull up specifically the thing I want to talk about next. So, actually, let's talk about this real quick, because this one should be very, 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 very fast. Gotta find the article here over on Bounding. So, yeah, this is just something that it really ground my gears yesterday when I saw all this. So, if you are a Bounding reader, you may have seen that yesterday I put up a story called "Let's Stop Acting Like Fantastic Four First Steps. Female Surfer Has Any Real Comic Book History." Now, the reason I was inspired to write this article is, if you go into it, there have been tweets and big ol' articles from like Collider and CBR and all this stuff of people going, oh, look at the chuds. They're complaining about a female Silver Surfer, but she's actually in the comics. This is comics canon. This is what they always want, right? Oh, so maybe they're just misogynist. okay letting it slide until I started seeing this weird run from, again, who is it? Collider, Game Rant, and CBR all ran like back to back to back stories saying, nope, she's actually canon. Get it right, nerds. And I I don't even know how to like set this up, but essentially, shut the fuck up. You're not like it is such a disingenuous argument that these people are making that to say that, oh, Shala Ball Silver Surfer has actual comic book history. If you hate this, you're a chud. You're a misogynist. You're a blah 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 blah. And simply put, anybody who is trying to push that, so like there's this term I like to use, or not like to use, but it is one I coined to myself. I'm sure other people use it, but you see it a lot, especially in modern day arguments, whether it's politics, entertainment, whatever. You'll see people go, let's say, man, I don't even have a good example, but it is like, I hate that I blinked so hard here on you guys, and it's not even like I'm losing my train of thought. I just don't have. I thought I had a good example that would have like come off the top of my head, but there's this rising trend where people will try to get like gotcha you by pointing to the literal thing you said and like literal facts, and then ignoring all of context and going like, yeah, that's what I fucking thought, right? One of the best examples of this, and you've probably noticed that I have sort of eased my my own personal ban on discussing, Fandom Pulse, John Delarose, John F. Trent, but just in recent months, it has just become so blatantly obvious that they are just like fundamentally bad people, just dipshit grifters, that I'm done playing nice. There's nothing that they're ever going to say. All the lies they can try and throw at me are always going to be, easily disproven. But one of the best examples I have of this is when I took over as the editor-in-chief of Bounding Into Comics 3-4 whatever years ago, or not, that's too long, 2 years ago. One of the first things I tried to do in my role was boost engagement on the Twitter, sort of present a more positive engagement, and also highlight our creators, right? Because for too long, John was using the Bounding account as his own personal shit flinger, right? And I hated that because A, it made us all look like we supported what he was doing, and B, he wouldn't give any of us like a shout out. He'd never tag Jacob, he'd never tag Nerdigans, so I wanted to start doing that. One of the first things I did was Jacob had a particularly viral post really early on. I don't remember what it was. Jacob goes and he posts something on Twitter saying, he retweets the article and he says like, hey, I think I shared the numbers with him, and he went out and he retweeted. He said, hey, just learned that like this article is doing really well. People are reading it. You should check it out. I retweeted it and said, yeah, like clear, like I can attest. People are reading this article. The people love Jacob. Trent jumped into my mentions because he is he's just salty. He thought that when he quit Bounding, he was like, all of us were going to follow him as if it was some valiant charge, or that the business would collapse without him. We're doing far better than ever. We are actually like credible. People listen to us now. We're way better off. So whatever to that. But Trent tries to, get at me, and he goes, you just say the site is doing amazing, but you don't post any numbers. That's what Disney does, you fucking chills. I know you guys are failing. And so I reply to him and I go, what? No, like I even said, yes, our numbers are objectively falling because you just left and you were pumping out like 8 things a day. That's a big gap that we need to, like, I'm currently trying to navigate. My tweet was not about not about the site's number. It was about Jacob and that specific article. And Trent's only response was, did you not say that there was a dip in numbers? And I said, there is, but it's not because, nobody's reading. It's because we have to fill your shoes. And he goes, exactly. That's what I thought. Don't gaslight me. And it's like, factually, yes, you are correct, John. The numbers are down. Just like with these fans, yes, you are factually correct that there was a comic books like a female Silver Surfer in the comic books. However, you're being disingenuous because you, Trent, these fans, you're all ignoring every single real piece of context just so you can go, this statement is factually correct, therefore, fuck you. And, you know, yes, I'm not going to stick on John or whatever. That was just one of the better examples I had. But in terms of this is what really got me, is that you have people going out going, you're a chud, fuck you, you don't know, like, just losing their or not losing their minds, but running real hard defense and saying, nope, she was in the comics, she was in the comics, she was in the comics. It's very, very clear that they don't know what, they only went to a wiki page and said, is there a female Silver Surfer? Because, and this is really why I wanted to write this article, I wanted to point out to everybody right here, the Shala Ball Silver Surfer appears in a total of 7 panels and 1 comic and 1 Alex Ross cover. So, like, admittedly, she got the Alex Ross treatment, so she got a little bit of more clout, but still, 7 panels, 1 cover across 4 pages of 2 issues of a 30-year-old miniseries that nobody references anymore, right? There was I will admit, for those of you who are a little younger or maybe haven't been on the internet as long as me, in the early, when we were closer to that release of Earth X and Universe X and Paradise X back in like 1997, so 2003, 2004, Earth X was at the time actually really popular because it was one of the first, here's how the like Marvel universe will all collectively come to an end. Not just the X-Men, not just Thanos or whatever. Like, this is how it all goes down. So for a long time, comic book fans did point to it. We did read it a lot. We did go, oh yeah, you think that's crazy, go check out this version that's in Earth X. But again, since then, we haven't even had a like, oh, I'm in the TVA or I'm in the Exiles. There's the Earth X Earth, right? So Shala Ball, 7 panels, 1 cover, and it ends with her death. Like right here, she gets blasted by a celestial and plummets right into the ocean and dies. And 3 of the panels are just her and Silver Surfer, like her and Norrin on the board flying around in the background. And like, I only counted it because technically, yes, she is in that panel, but she's not doing anything. So, and then side note, because you guys might have also seen this, but another argument they love to raise is, oh, look, there was also this Silver Surfer, right? There have been 2 female Silver Surfers. Get over it, chud. This is the exact same situation because this version, A, alternate universe, and B, a total of 4 issues. 4. And they are a miniseries based around Hercules, who, and one of the 2010 Hercules miniseries. Do you know how unpopular that book probably was? I almost guarantee I can go into my LCS right now, or, you know, when they open, when they're legally open, and I can probably find the entire run of that book 5 times over, because I love Hercules. I know that I know the character. I love the character of Hercules. Bob Layton is a good writer. Just, this is one of those things. It's like, it's 2010. Who cares? He doesn't have that same sort of like unique fictional appeal that Thor does compared to other Thor depictions. So I know that this was probably a more obscure, not a great seller sort of title, right? So yeah, that's not comic book history, right, guys? That is a novelty at best. That is a trivia question. That is something where in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 4, if you give all the characters like 6 costumes and one of Silver Surfer's happens to be Shala, and you use that as like the little trivia, like, hey, did you guys remember Earth X? Cool, let's keep moving on. The best way I like came to equate this, I have 2 really, or pat myself on the fucking back, what a douchebag. I think I came up with at least 2 relatively good, you know, comparisons for this to really drive home and meet these fans on their, on their ideological playing field. And one, imagine if one of my first example is, oh, here, let me get a cover real quick so that I can show you guys. Let's see. Hey, he's back. Tehillim made it. I'm glad you're home safe. What book were you most excited to grab from your pickup today, Tehillim? Yeah. Oh, freaking Punk. I don't think you're alone in this. Punk says, even though I'm currently not reading any of the current Spider-Man comics, it fucking sucks the way that Peter is being treated by Marvel. It absolutely is. Again, go check out last night's foil variant where Andrew and I got into it, because we are in such a dire spider place, guy. I thought we were going to have something okay after Wells. I thought Joe Kelly would deliver. We're not seeing it yet. But Pepe Larraz, always killing it on art. Just like, always killing it on art. So, let me pull this. I don't want to go to Screen Rant. I don't want to give them any attention. Boop, 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 boop. Here we go. This will probably work for our purposes if it will give me the full thing. So we open. Good. Oh, mamacita. All right. So there is an old What If comic where, as you can see here, the premise was, what if Aunt May got bit by the spider instead? Again, it was, supposed to be tongue-in-cheeky, lighthearted. Imagine if this, they said, brand new Spider-Man movie, right? Or like, let's make everything as equal as we can. Let's say we are currently in 2015, right? Right before the release of, or they're leading up to the pre-production on Civil War. And they go, guys, you're not going to believe this. We finally got the rights back. Spider-Man is coming home, right? Like, oh yeah, and everybody goes, yes! Like, not only has it been a while since we got a movie, I mean, relatively so. I think it was only like 4 or 5 years, but now he's in the MCU. Like, this is going to be awesome. Imagine if they did that, and then we got that awesome trailer where, Underoos, and Spidey jumps, and he whips up the shield, or he whips up Cap's shield, and he goes, hi guys. Imagine if in that moment it was Spider-Ant, right? And then you walked away from that trailer and you went, okay, what the hell? Like, why is this not Spider-Man? Like, why isn't it Peter? And then everybody ran up to you and said, you know what, you chud? Let's see. Where's her wiki page that I was just looking at? Let's see. You know what, chud? She's actually from the comics. And they point to the comics, and you go down here and you learn that she has 10 appearances, most of which happen in the background as part of Spider-Verse events, right? You can see that right here. What If? That's the one where she debuted. Spider-Man Unlimited. I think we've talked about that game. I think Volume Dealer and I were the ones who were playing it, but that was that like Endless Runner game that was really good, and it had a bunch of alternate costumes. So she was included there just as an alternate costume. They weren't saying, oh, she's official now. Every like other Spider person got added to that game, right? Pardon me. But then you see from there on out, she's only in these like Spider-Verse related things. And as somebody who's read them, she really is just sort of standing in the background half the time. Or there is this one short story in this issue of the Spider-Verse series where she helps Miles out on like a mission. But would you not feel, insulted? Would you not go, I'm not being sexist, I'm not being a bigot, I'm just saying this is the version we all know and love. Why wouldn't you go with that one when you're, bringing him back out? And more, so that's a very general one. Now, I also came up with one that meets female fans in particular, or anybody who claims to be a neo-feminist fan, which again, I know I shouldn't be, making contingencies for them because they're eventually just going to get outed as sex pests, but it's always good to lock your doors at night when you're going to bed, if you will. But so, okay, yes, on this same sort of bent. Now, imagine if, for my ladies out there, or for my my gay fellas, or for anybody out there who enjoys a good cake, Imagine they said tomorrow, like James Gunn came out and he said, finally, Batman, DCEU, we are ready to announce it. Here we go. And, he lists off, it is going to be a Batman story, and it is going to also, it's going to involve Nightwing. He's going to be the supporting character here in this story. We really want to reinforce that Batman-son relationship with Dick. Everybody, especially the ladies, because he's very popular with them, would go, finally, like, it's Dick. We haven't really seen him. Like, we haven't seen him on the silver screen, and the last time we saw him in live action was Titans, and the less said about that, the better. Yes, this is incredible. Let's go. And then we got the trailer, and they said, oh, instead of Dick, it is going to be, Nightwing is going to be Cheyenne Fremont. Now, most of you, I know this, most of you people out there, and even my, like, deep cut comic readers, I don't even know if Andrew remembers her, right? This character appeared in 7 total issues back in 2006 as part of the 1 year later storyline in Nightwing's book. Never shown up or put on the suit for 2 issues, technically 1 battle, but it, played out over 2 issues. Immediately leaves the book and has never been seen again. Gone. The only reason I remember her, yeah, exactly. Okay. Oh, check that out. Andrew does remember. Oh, I'm trying to click it. Yeah, she's around for 5 minutes and never seen again. Yeah, exactly. The only reason I remember her is because 1 year later, Infinite Crisis, that was when I was getting back into comic books, so I was eating up everything. And I remember reading the Nightwing series and being like, oh boy, Nightwing. And going, what the hell am I reading? Because not even the Cheyenne stuff, guys, like, admit it, like, in honesty, the Cheyenne stuff is sort of very normal as it plays out in the story. She's dating Dick. Dick gets into some trouble. She puts on one of his suits to help him. Afterwards, like they're successful. Afterwards, she realizes it's all too dangerous and she leaves Bloodhaven. It's a very standard thing. But the rest of the plot, where there's like the weird like pus monster thing that's attacking, and there's a clone of Jason Todd, and it's very, 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 very bad. But yeah, so as Andrew said, maybe all of 5 minutes here for Cheyenne, but imagine, yeah, Gunn comes out and says, we're doing Cheyenne, and then all these fans start going, no, so Gunn comes out and he says, Nightwing, Cheyenne, that's what we're doing. And then you had a bunch of fans come out and they went, especially like the women, and they went, what? I wanted Dick. Like, I've been wanting Dick Grayson. That's the character I like. Like, where is he? And then imagine if, you had a bunch of people running out to you who haven't read a Nightwing comic or don't know what they're talking about. And they said, excuse me, we have 7 issues with a female Nightwing. Again, that's not even as Nightwing. She's only in it for 2. But if you go to the wiki, it says 7 appearances of Cheyenne. I absolutely know those fangirls would, at the very least, be upset that they are not getting Dick Grayson. No matter how progressive and, whatever drinking the Kool-Aid they claim to be, they will go, why isn't it Dick? I wanted to see my husbando. I wanted to see XYZ. So that really is what this entire issue boils down to, is that people aren't going, oh, I hate women. They're going, why isn't it the version of the character we have seen throughout pop culture for all of our lives? And then, and they're completely in the right? Like, we haven't gotten, or I mean, we've gotten changes. We've all seen this on characters we all like before, right? Like, I genuinely have none off the top of my head because I feel like I'm blanking, but yes. Anyway, yeah. Thank you for the save, Andrew. But yes, we all know it's never been about that for real fans. Oh, we absolutely do. The reason, and yes, as Andrew points out, we've made this argument time and time again, whether it's Bounding or World Class Bullshitters or To Hill 'em on his channel or, the guys over on, Control Z, whomever, everybody in our sphere has always held, like, we're not racist. We're not this. We just really want, the version we've seen. We want that accuracy to what we've seen. And this happens to be the one situation, or one of the very few situations, where the defenders of the MCU and of this stuff can go, aha, but you wanted comic book accuracy. Well, here you go. Here you go. And it's just I don't know. I lost my conclusion there because I saw Volume Dealer's comment. I can't highlight it because YouTube's holding it back. But Dick gets hard. He and they very much do. Yep, exactly. Yeah, second favorite DC character and third overall is Supergirl. And there's nothing wrong with just wanting to see the version of the character y'all like we grew up with, that we knew the most. Even if we break outside of that paradigm, like I think Julia Garner is a playing the cards where they're dealt. I'm not happy that we're getting the female Silver Surfer over Norrin. However, with where we are, Julia Garner is a great actress. I'm excited to see if they let her do anything because she's that cool. So I'm open to seeing that, but I'm with you right there, Volume Dealer. Like, it doesn't even look like her. They're really going... I'm not impressed with the Silver Surfer stuff I've seen so far. We don't, if you want all of our full thoughts on the Fantastic Four trailer, and by our, I mean me, the chat, everybody, you can check out last week's episode where we spent a big chunk of time on that. Biggest takeaways, might be cool. I'm admittedly, my interest is peaked. Not a fan of Pedro in anything really. Like Vanessa Kirby, not a fan of her as Sue. Very, very excited for Doctor Doom, and I'm very excited for the visuals of the Silver Surfer. There's that one shot that I have highlighted here in the headline where she's like cutting through a dust cloud or something. It'll look cool. I hope so, as long as they like fix up some of the CG. Oh, Sakura. I actually wanted to point this out to you. Sakura says Marvel got in hot water, should have re-released Earth X. We talked about this last week, and I went on the same bent with you. So dumb. Why aren't they doing it? I learned they actually are. I don't know when they announced that collection or the reprint, but there is one coming, I believe, next month. But it, to our credit, I didn't see it in any of the solicits. I haven't seen it talked about on any of the sites. So I think this was probably a last-minute scramble type of thing, which we've unfortunately been seeing publishers do a lot more lately. This week, there were... Dan Mora drew a set of... Let me see if I can find those. Dan Mora, Absolute Reprint Variants. Oh, come on. Don't give me one that's like... You're not going to just give me them standing side by side. You're only going to break them up individually. You're stupid, Google. I don't like you. Well... Oh, okay. Never mind. Bleeding Cool. Bleeding Cool, of all things, is helping us out here. That is a statement very rarely uttered in the world of everything. Pardon me. But, so, oh, that's the wrong window. So earlier this week, this week, Dan Mora, one of my favorite artists, mine and Andrew, we love him. One of the, probably the best at DC behind Jimenez right now. But this week, they announced that they would be printing these 3 covers. Dan Mora did a full set of Absolute Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman for the 5th printing of these number 1s. They didn't announce it, right? Like, okay, so how do I put this? Andrew and I, we scour Midtown, or it was T-Faw, now it's Midtown. Whenever there's something, we're interested in, or even not interested in, we just look at, like, what's in the pre-orders. Sometimes we find things we didn't know. So we didn't see these at all. And then out of nowhere, last week, I was browsing some site, and I went, holy shit, have you seen these? And Andrew went, whoa, where do we get in on this? And we sort of scrambled. He didn't end up finding a place, or like he didn't place an order, but I went to like my 4th on the list comic book shop just to find a place that had all 3 of them and could get it to me. And I got him, and I went, fuck yeah, like I got him, like I'm good. This week I went to my LCS to pick up other books. They had massive stacks of all of these covers, and they just didn't tell anybody that they were coming. And it's just, I feel like that's so, they're doing it more and more, and it's annoying because I can't plan around like, what am I going to order? When am I going to order? All blah, 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 all that stuff. Um, Andrew adds to the Silver Surfer. It's the delineating line between liking characters for being good characters, regardless of sex or skin color, and trying to find an excuse for inserting a character where they haven't earned it. Um, I so yes, I think the inserting a character where they haven't earned it is a slightly different uh like dialogue tree or dialogue path that we would go on to, because more this is less about, you know, making that new character and saying, oh, they're the replacement and they're the best ones now, and it's more about just that disingenuous argument of, yes, there's like a female Silver Surfer, but you know that, you know, we're not you know that the people who are complaining know that they're in the comics, right? Like we all know that that's not what the complaint is, that it's a female Silver Surfer. It's that you guys are trying to like say, oh no, this is how it's always, like, this is totally good, Chud, you blah 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 blah. But what were we? Oh yeah, so that's really all I have on this Silver Surfer bent. I really just wanted everybody out there to know and take with you out into your discussions, into your debates, into your engagements and everything on social media, that if anybody tries to tell you that this character has a super defined, you know, history and she's canon and you need to actually get over it, just know that they're full of crap, right? Bottom line, that argument doesn't hold any water. If you want to be excited for the female Fantastic or Silver Surfer, go for it. That's up to you. That's your own taste. I'm not, but I'm not going to say, oh, you're so-and-so or you're a bad person, whatever. But at least let's be intellectually honest with each other and be able to go, I want to see a female Silver Surfer. I know why some people don't want to, and that's okay. I'm going to go engage with it, and I'm going to go have fun. Again, I want to see what Julia Garner does in the role, just because I like Julia Garner. Even though I don't like that they're going with Shala Ball, cards where they're dealt. Also, I am pretty sure, I think I said this last week, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Norrin Radd in Doomsday or Secret Wars, but we're not going to get him as a character. Pretty sure I told you guys this last week, can't remember. And if I did, you know, feel free to get up, take a drink, go take a potty break real quick, come back to me. But I'm pretty sure that when the four come over and they start, you know, interacting with the Avengers and they start, you know, learning about the Doom plot and start everything in motion, there's going to be one of those moments, sort of like they have in Star Wars when they looked at the Death Star base, or in Endgame when they all got together and were talking about, you know, the time travel plans. There's going to be a big old meeting like that where the Avengers and the four learn that somebody has like breached the multiverse and they're coming through, and obviously it's Doom. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see some like we just got this transmission from Peter Quill, or we just got this transmission from one of our the Sword satellite that Nick is on right now from the Marvels. We just got this, you know, we just picked this up from the Sword satellite, and it's going to be Doom on some planet or in space. Like, remember in the Winter Soldier or in Civil War when they show the Winter Soldier assassination clip, and you can see all the actions, and like Bucky says some things and the Starks say some things, but obviously you can't hear it because it's far away. It's going to play out like that. It's going to be Norrin and Doom are exchanging some words, and then Doom's going to like snap his neck or something, and it's going to be used as A, proof of how powerful he is, and then B, that's going to be one of those things that lets Reed or Sue go, this like, you know, is that your Silver Surfer? This really is a different universe. Like, that's a male. Like ours is significantly different. And then Johnny will probably say something like, yeah, ours is hot or whatever. But that's my theory. Who knows how it happens? But all in all, don't let anybody, you know, try to denigrate you or talk down to you by saying Shala Ball has been in the comics. Because technically, yes, but we all know that's like that's a disingenuous read of everything that's going on. All right, let's see. Let's stick in the let's stick in the Marvel realm. Let me go find what I need to pull up real quick. This again, there's a lot of quick hit things because it's more what I have found this week is a lot of just like dumb takes, not even things to necessarily get mad about, just really like, what the hell are you doing? From Marvel saying no Spider-Man license or Marvel licenses in that MTG set, to people shouting down to you about Silver Surfer, to this. Let's okay, here we go. Let's you guys might, if you've been hanging out with me here for the past couple months, if you have been hanging out over on Foil Variant, you might know that there is a little game that dropped that I happen to be a fan of called Marvel Rivals. Now, obviously, for those of you who don't know, Marvel Rivals, very, very popular hero shooter that just came out a couple months ago. You play as your favorite Marvel characters. It is fantastic. I rant all the time about just how dedicated and loving they are of the IP and the source material, and it's just fun to play. It's great. So there is a pro player. His name is Necros, and as you can see, from reading this tweet, I don't think we necessarily need to, watch all of his rant or whatever, but the gist of what is going on lately is that Necros has been he sort of has been fanning this flame of talking shit about the support players, right? Or anybody who plays a support. So in Marvel Rivals, they're called strategists, but your healers, your Mantis, your Adam Warlock, your Cloak and Dagger, your Sue Storm, so on and so forth. Now, he's been talking shit because to him, he's going, wow, you guys don't do your jobs. You're always getting killed. You're never there to help me. Essentially, right here, right? I hate support players because they're literally allergic to good takes. They're idiots, and I fucking hate them. It's exactly what ruined Overwatch. Now, here's normally a dumb gaming take like this is I'm just going to roll my eyes, right? I would treat it the same way I treat anything that comes out of Grums or Yorch Torch or any of those dipshits. But why I want to bring attention to this is when it comes to multiplayer games like this, going back to the Team Fortress 2 days, or even the days when you didn't have classes and you had to sort of fit in your own role, right? Your Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 days where you made loadouts rather than picking a class. I've always played healers. I very much like being a support player because I like having full situational awareness. That to me is part of the fun in games, right? Like the strategy. That's why I played trading card games. So I like being able to go, oh guys, don't rush that way. I saw a team over there, or come back here, let me heal you before we storm, or sniping one dude because I see them creeping up on my team. That's what I love doing. And in games where you have classes, I do tend to stick to healers because I don't know why I blanked there. One, I like playing healers because it's such an essential role, and there are so many people who are bad at it. And two, it's a thankless role. So oftentimes, I know the pain of when I want to play, let's say, Iron Man or Emma Frost, and I join a team and I am playing with just the dumbest, healers, people who don't know what they're doing. Or I join a team and nobody picks a healer because they go, healers are stupid. I just want to kill things. So, I take that burden upon myself. I'm here for you. I'm carrying this support cross up the temple or up the mountain. But no, I digress. So I love playing healers. I played Mercy in Overwatch when I wasn't playing Diva. Here in Marvel Rivals, I am a Sue Storm main till the day I die. Before her, I was playing Cloak and Dagger. Unfortunately, I have given them up and don't really know how to use them anymore because I started playing with one of my best friends from high school. Shout out to my boy Matt. But he's one of those people who finds a character and locks into them, and he liked them. And I went, you know what? I am good enough, or not. Sorry, that's condescending. But I went, I'm cool enough that I can go and find another character I can fit with. You can have that one, man. I'm not even going to be mad about it. But what pisses me off about this is that oftentimes anybody who talks, so I have long held another one of my stupid idioms, like the Marvel hates Spider-Man. Back in the Overwatch days, my phrase was, thank your fucking healers. because so many people just, again, thankless job. They just assume you're going to be there, assume you're going to do the right things. They don't understand the situational awareness and all that fun stuff. And yeah, you know, this kind of complaining about where are the healers, why aren't they good? This is not limited to Marvel Rivals. This has been in every game ever. But the thing is, 98% of the time when somebody is bitching about this and saying, oh, support suck, why don't they help me? They're the problem. And if you go and you catch clips of Necros going, you know, that are going around Twitter right now, you can see there are a lot of moments where he's, you know, webbed, like he's a Spider-Man main and he just fucking goes off. There are no characters that have that mobility that can keep up with a Spider-Man, let alone, you know, heal him that far up in the air. So it kind of boils down to, what are we supposed to do? Like, what are we supposed to do? And what really gets me here is that there are so many people who are taking this guy's, you know, lead and running with it. And I'm just starting to see so many, like, support players are fucking dumb. All supports are bad. Wow, I'm so much better than you. And it's just sort of like, fuck, like, shut the fuck up. You don't know yet. And I'm not saying like being a healer is the hardest thing in the world, but you're clearly just shitting your pants because I have to take care of 6 other, you know, or 4 other heroes, 5 other heroes, and I can't just sit on your ass all day and follow you around the map, right? If you want to get healed, you know, Spider-Man, you can web right over to me. Venom, you can web right over to me. Peter Quill, you can dash. Wolverine has a massive, almost like map level jump. Get your asses over to me, because I'm only Sue Storm. If I don't have my double jump, I'm going to be slow as shit. So it's just one of those situations where people are blaming others for their own failings. And it pisses me off because we're starting to see it like a developing trend. And this happens to me when I go in Marvel Rivals games. I do amazing and I just get people talking shit. And again, I can mute them. I can go. It's just annoying. And I just, thank your fucking healers, okay? You aren't winning games without a healer. It doesn't matter whether it's TF2. It doesn't matter whether it's Battlefield like the 2142. Doesn't matter if it's Marvel Rivals. Doesn't matter if it's Fortnite. You're not getting anywhere if you don't have somebody to heal you or to help heal you. So just, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Andrew's really got it. Why are you not healing me? Why are you pulling all the aggro, retard? Like, that's exactly it. How am I supposed to heal you if you dive into the middle of 5 enemies and I'm Sue Storm? I don't have health. You are the one. And that's the other thing, right? If you're a tank or you're an attacker, so a duelist or a vanguard, it's your job to protect us. That's the whole dynamic. You protect us while we keep you all alive, and the damaged people go out and fuck everybody up. That's how it's supposed to be done. As a tank, you should not be expecting me to only cover you while you go off on a solo fight. It's so, like, I don't know. Like, I know at this point it's devolving into old man yells at cloud, and I know I really don't have anything past that. I'm just like, man, fuck you. Like, shut up, you dipshit. Like, it makes me so angry. Like, if you want, I would have more credence to, like, or I would hear him out more if he even acknowledged, like, okay, look, before I get into this, I do know I'm kind of shitty at this. I know maybe some of this might be my fault. Do that, and I'll go, okay, what do you maybe have to say? But the second you start going, no, I'm the best, you all suck, that's when I go, man, sorry, like you've lost this one. Doesn't matter who you are. When that card comes out, you lost this one. Sakura says, I wish Elsa Bloodstone in the game. I need my British waifu. I would love to see her. I don't know if you've played Ultimate Alliance 3, Sakura Mita. She's actually in that game, and that made me happy because I do like Elsa Bloodstone a lot. She's one of those B tier characters that I always, you know, if she shows up, I'm always going to be like, oh, hell yeah, Elsa's here. Significantly different from the foil variant activity of Jimmy Watch, which is where I only, you know, I like looking for any appearances of Jimmy Hudson, but that's not because I particularly like him, just because it's sort of a phenomena, right? Like, people remember you exist. Holy shit, Andrew, I don't know if you're still listening. He's the Judas Traveler of X-Men. There you go. Hell yes. But yeah, Elsa's in that game. She's really great. I was really happy to actually see her in that Werewolf by Night special presentation, and I know this is probably not up your alley specifically, Sakura, because I know you are more of a like you watch anime, like you watch stuff over reading stuff, especially when it comes to Western things. Which is not again, I'm not criticizing you, and for everybody out there, I'm not criticizing him. I'm just saying that I'm meeting him like I just know him like that. That's it's fact. But last year, and I think at the beginning of this year, so out of Blood Hunt, there was a mini series called Blood Hunters, which was 4 issues or so, and it saw like White Widow, All Hallows Eve, Elsa, and somebody else that I'm blanking on. Pardon me. But it spins out a Blood Hunt. So those 3 or 4, they like sort of de facto team up to fight like a small group of vampires. It obviously, it's part of Blood Hunt, so don't expect a lot out of it. But it is written by an author named Erica Schultz, who is she's kind of flying under the radar right now. I think she's one of the more recent Marvel hires, but she's written some books that Andrew and I have genuinely been like, whoa, that was surprisingly good. And Blood Hunters is surprisingly good, and it's got a lot of good Elsa. So if you ever find yourself on one of those Pakistani sites, I would definitely recommend checking it out. And then Andrew says, that sounds like a really salty take, but I am newer to Rivals, only starting with day 1 on season 2. But that's the thing, is that this isn't really like limited to whether you've played a lot or not. We all sort of know the fundamentals of team sports, right? Let's take ourselves away from the realm of video games. Let's look at something like football. Everybody has their positions to play. Everybody would rightfully, get mad and shit their pants and question what the hell was going on if all of a sudden your offensive lineman, instead of standing there, instead of doing his job and protecting you while everybody rushes, he just blitzed through and just went, I'm open. And then when you get sacked, he goes, what the hell, man? Like I was open. Why did you let yourself get sacked? It's like, because you were supposed to be there to help me. I can't, maybe I could have done a short lateral if you blocked and you gave me that window, but because you didn't, we're down now, right? Like it's just so obvious. I never watched the special and I'm okay. That's all right. It's fun. It's not something groundbreaking. It's fun. It honestly makes me sad because I wish Marvel would do more shit like that. Use these special presentations or your mini series to experiment with genres or characters that we don't know. Do something different instead of just making everything MCU slop. I think I've said this before, but I was really, really into WandaVision for those first 3 episodes. Like, I was hooked because I thought that we were looking at sort of a David Lynchian, high strangeness, Twin Peaks take on Marvel stuff. And then when they went, nope, it's just Marvel slop, I went, wow, that is really, really disappointing. All right, let's see. We are winding down here. We've hit most of the topics. All right, because we've hit most of the topics, let's go. Let's close out. Let's have a little bit of a cheeky time, cheeky laughs. As soon as I can find the appropriate links, because I have 700 going on everywhere. The life of an editor, guys. This is what happens to us. Like, we're getting the Punisher special, and I think that's going to be cool, but like, you have a whole imprint right there to do unique experiments, and you've given us a holiday special, which was admittedly good, the Werewolf by Night, and now we'll get Punisher, but it's like, come on, like, you guys are really dropping the ball here. Wow, I am blanking on what the headline is for what I'm trying to pull up. This is what I'm trying to pull up. So, let's slightly transition over from video games and nerdery to still nerdery, but more in the world of sports, if you will. We're gonna put on our ESPN hats here, guys. All right. So, for those of you who do not know baseball, for those of you who do not know sports, because I know it is a very American, it is very American centric. Well, not so much as like football. Like I know Latin America loves it and Japan, but MLB, very much obviously an American thing. And I know that, not everybody out there was, likes sports. I totally get that. So come with me here. We'll go back a couple months to the 2023 or the 2024. No, yeah. What the hell am I saying? The 2023-2024 season. Last year, we had a big ol', sort of moment, a meeting, a clashing of cultures, if you will, where Gargura, the now retired or the now graduated or a soon to be graduated VTuber. I'm not a VTuber guy. I kind of live vicariously through a couple of my friends. So if I get anything wrong, I ask for forgiveness, blah, or whatever. But so Gura last year was able to host a HoloLive collab night at Dodger Stadium, and the collaboration saw Gura giving commentary during the game up on the Jumbotron. As you can see here, she is leading the crowd in the 7th inning stretch. It was definitely a spectacle. You had everything from exclusive merch to like VTuber idol music videos playing up on the big screen to a bunch of old people going, "What the hell is this gay shit?" Right? It was pretty funny. But if you know me, you'll know that as I sort of hinted when I was talking to Punk, I fucking hate anything with an LA logo on it, right? I lived there for a good chunk of my life. I'm a SoCal boy through and through, but I hate the Dodgers. I hate the Clippers. I hate the Lakers. I hate the Kings. I just cannot stand them and their fan bases. I could go into the Dodgers for 9 months. Like I could even do like my own sports show, but suffice to say, like from their fans to their like organization, I just do not like the Dodgers. It may surprise you to learn that my team is, well, I have two. I have the Chicago Cubs and the San Diego Padres, because my family originally emigrated out of wherever they came out of Europe. The white side of my family, they landed in the Midwest, put up shop in Chicago, all that area, lived there up until, like, they still live out there. So it's just sort of like a family thing. And then growing up, my grandma, when she moved her part of the family out to California, we settled in San Diego. As I, grew consciousness, she always watched baseball. There we go. So on and so forth. So obviously, while I went, this is really cool, Gargura, VTuber, it's the Dodgers. I don't want to give any props to the Dodgers. And also just fuck the Dodgers. I hate them so much. Shohei Ohtani. I don't know. You all have probably just heard the name. He is a very, very popular baseball player. He is one of the greatest, at current to have ever done it. He is a Japanese-born player who recently came out of the Japanese leagues and joined the Dodgers about 2-3 seasons ago. It was a big deal when he was coming over because he's obviously a superstar. And to sort of rub salt in the wound for me personally, like, I wanted him. Like, every team wanted him. But it eventually came down to fucking Padres, Dodgers. And I went, Padres, we will finally get a world, like, please God. And some underhanded, extra $80 million from the Dodgers at the last second really put that to bed, and so on and so forth. So, long story short, screw the Dodgers, never been a fan of them. However, I think it was really cool that they got to do a Gargura collaboration. Didn't really see that one coming, but hey, why not? Enter Saturday, like this past Saturday, where I discover through an announcement from the game's official Twitter account that, wait, that's not what I wanted. That's just the same image. That later this year, the San Diego Padres are teaming up for a Goddess of Nikke Shift Up night at Petco Park back home in my hometown of San Diego. Now, as you can see, the stream buddy for tonight is an exclusive pin that you get if you attend the game. It is Blanc wearing a Padres uniform. Very, very cool. I am so excited for this, guys. Like, I am not even going to lie. So the game happens on June 10th. Genuinely don't know what they're going to do for this because, again, while Gura was a VTuber who was a personality who can interact and talk to people, this is a video game. And it has a story and it's gotcha. Like, it doesn't really lend itself in the same way that Garagura does. But, hold on. I'm just pulling up some more visuals for us to talk about. For those of you who don't know off the top of your head which game Goddess of Nikke is, this is the game where you it's a sci-fi gacha shooter game where you fight waves of enemies as cute anime girls wielding rifles, but the imagery, if we will, sets you behind them, and it, you basically just watch their butt jiggle as they fight, and it is, it's an anime gacha game. What did you really want from it? So I don't know what they're going to do, but and no pun intended, I genuinely hope, let's see.
I have to work out every single day. If I don't...
I want them to put Rumani up on the big board. You put her up there. Wait, oh no, where's her battle pose? That's what I wanted. Here we go. Yeah, you put this up on the big screen. We are getting 4 World Series in a row, 40-game win streak, MVP for the entire team. Tony Gwynn comes back from the grave. It's going to be phenomenal. So, yeah, I don't know entirely everything that will be happening with this collaboration night. However, I wanted to bring it up because this is sort of the crossover I never thought I would see between two of my interests. I'm very, very excited to go, and how do I put this? I'm very, very excited it's happening. I am trying to go to this game because it is actually a couple days before my birthday. So I figure, get me some drinks, put me in some Padres gear, put me in Petco Park with a bunch of friends, throw up anime booba on the Jumbotron, and let Fernando Tatis Jr. crack a home run. Literally, what else could I ask for? Like, it's going to be perfect. So hopefully we learn more info as time, draws closer. Again, all we know right now is that it's collab night with Goddess of Nikke. Blanc's getting a cute little pin. I hope there's more merch. Like, I hope we get some exclusive, shirts or jerseys or whatever. Come on, it's gotcha. You're telling me they're not going to want to monetize this out the wahoo? But yes, that's really all I have in terms of topics. Well, let's hang out with Rumani here for a second. This is my Nikke waifu, by the way. Come on, fit sporty girl. You got me dead to rights. If she was blonde, it'd be even more over. Oh, Shinkai, I am so excited. Yeah, Shinkai says the world isn't ready for extra thick Jumbotron. I am so excited because, guys, go look at, if you happen to, if you feel like it. I'm not or what is that joke from The Simpsons where it's like, don't step on the grass, or do. I'm a sign, not a cop. That's kind of, yeah. Go check it out, but only if you want to. I'm not a cop. But if you go watch those videos of the Dodgers Gora night, again, I made the joke, but there are so many old people, men and women, who are just like, what the hell am I looking at? Like, what is this small squeaky shark thing up on the goddamn screen? But remember, at least with Gora, yeah, you get sort of the shock is like, oh, she's very anime, she's very cutesy. But then if you can, get past that, you sort of realize like, oh, it's just still just like a guest person. They're still just like guest hosting the night. This, yeah, to your point, we're going to get thick up on that screen. I feel like heart attacks are about to happen. Divorces are about to happen. No, you get the hell out of here with Red Hood or get the hell out of here. What a bad choice. Because the only other acceptable choice is Asuka from the Evangelion crossover. No, I'm kidding. That's a complete lie. My Nikke list is very, very extensive and is based on absolutely 2 days of playing the game. I checked it out, but it's a gacha game. Like, I just can't do gacha games, guys, because I know that as fun as they are, you'll eventually hit a point where it will require you to pay for something. And I just can't do it. I have my principles. No horse armor for me. Even if the rest of the world goes down, no horse armor for Mav. Yes, you're goddamn right. And you know what? We're gonna get that right here. We're gonna tattoo that right under here. I will let the world know that my taste is absolutely terrible. Hold that thought. Tehillim says, enjoyed backing the Jorge Jimenez Kickstarter. I'm glad you did get it, buddy. That's what I like to hear. Yes, thank you for reminding me too, because I need to go update my payment thing, because for some reason I think I put in the wrong card. But I got to take care of that. Do not want them to say, sorry, we're taking it back. Pardon me, because Lord knows when that book will ever find its way onto like an eBay or whatever. And specifically that cover, the Super Sons one, which is why I wanted it. It's orange and yellow, and that's what I like. But yeah, so to Andrew's point, let's see. So obviously, guys, we are here. We are at the end of the show. We are almost up on our 3-hour mark. So let's see. Let's get back to our main page. I don't want to hold you guys any longer, but I did just because Andrew brought it up, and I realized earlier today before I hopped on that I didn't talk about it last week. We'll probably get into it more as I play it more, but I did start Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So far, so fantastic. I did not play the demo when it came out. I really wanted to dive into it, completely blind. You guys know Final Fantasy VII is up there. It's, Kingdom Hearts, Mega Man, Ben Riley level of like, this is, definitive to to what Mav loves. So, yes, the game, I'm early. I'm still getting into it, but what I really, really, really want to highlight is I am genuinely stunned at the graphic, the graphic levels, the quality, the art direction. These characters, look younger. They get, for example, right? Imagine, how do I put this? If there's imagine a Western game, right? You meet a character and then you flash back to when they, you go flashback and you're all younger or whatever. Often you either get a very, very significantly different modeled and that's recognizable, but you go, oh yeah, they're kids, or they're teenagers or young adults. Oh, of course. Or you get they just shrink the model or it just gets really weird. Rebirth. In the moments when you go meet Tifa to go up to the reactor in Nibelheim, they've modeled her in such a way that it's that is genuinely the 2-year, 3-year younger version of the woman we are standing right next. I don't have the words for it. You can even ask. I mean, I don't think he's watching right now, but I have one of my best friends. I keep talking to him about it as I play, and all I can say is this game is so gorgeous. This is insanity. So yes, we will definitely talk about that as we get closer, especially, or as I get into it, especially once I finally get to Yuffie. I mean, where is she? I'm so far. No, I'm kidding. I know where she is. Yes, Andrew says, I still need to start it. You do? And you know what? I will admit this to you. I did decide to be nice earlier because you and I were talking about something and you were like, yeah, I gotta, close out. Oh, when we were talking last night about what you're playing right now, what you're going to do on your streams, if you do one tomorrow, and you're like, yeah, I got to beat Xenoblade Chronicles, and then I got to start Claire Obscura, and then that's why I asked, what about Final Fantasy 16? Because you started that one, and I didn't want to be the guy who's like, what about this one, guys? What about this one, guys? What about this one, guys? But you need it. You're although that's gonna be one of the ones where you download it, you install it, and you're gone for a week because you're just I literally, oh man, this made me laugh. The other day I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw somebody share a screenshot. They're playing through Rebirth, pretty excited, just a normal thing, and they had clearly modded their game, but it was Tifa had on her purple dress and Aerith had on something really gorgeous, and Cloud had on his first soldier, like not even his Advent Children, but like his first soldier uniform. And my first thought as soon as I saw that go up, because the screenshot was taken in like the first area of the game, like in the intro, and I just went, this is Andrew's playthrough, isn't it? Yeah, I know you do. This is what we always talk about here at Good Mab Ugly, guys. This is why temporary cancer. How can I get it? What can we do about it? I don't want to die. I know cancer sucks, but I do need a good like 4 months where I can like socially acceptably sit inside and not have any obligations and just play video games, right? Like, oh, I don't expect him to work out. He's got cancer. I don't expect him to write today. He's got cancer. I don't expect him to stream today. He's got cancer. Just for like a little while, right? And then like I'll get up in November and I'll be like, that was great. I beat like 17 things. Cool. Now we can move forward. Sakura says, did you see my comment? I don't know which one you're referring to, buddy. There's lots of comments flying through. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But again, flow of conversation. Sometimes I don't get to hit everything. But let's see. Yeah, I think that is where we are for this week. We surprisingly hit all the topics I actually had, to talk about. You guys have probably noticed that I've been glancing over to my right over here. I did actually write down the topics that we were going to talk about so that I, could keep us on track a little bit and not end up going for 2 hours about, there's an alternate world out there where we went on a 2-hour tangent about how fucking terrible Hush 2 is, right? But thankfully we didn't. We actually hit everything I wanted to talk about. I hope you the MCU comment, I don't know which one you're talking about. I don't see it right here off the top of my head. So sorry, buddy. I don't see it. Probably, yeah, don't see it. But yes, with that, everybody, I think that is where we will close it out for tonight. I am so happy that you guys all decided to spend at least a little bit of your Friday, your weekend with me. As always, you know that the reason we hang out here, the reason I host this show is because there is so much bullshit, bad, there's awful things happening in terms of politics. There's awful things happening in terms of, our favorite franchises, but the world's not all bad. It is a majority, white pill place. There are still a lot of good things that we can find. There are a lot of, whether it is a new game, a new show, an old game, some stupid jokes that we make here together and we keep running for the rest of, however long I do the show or whatever. I'm just glad you guys are here. I hope that I can do just a little bit in making sure that, you don't doom and gloom yourself out. And yes, as always, let's see, scratch. Sorry, I just got, had to scratch, got itchy. But yes, as always, guys, next week, we'll be right back here. Same Mav time, same Mav channel for another episode of The Good, The Mav, The Ugly. If you want to hang out with me before then, you can catch me. Let's see. Let's run through the schedule. Wednesdays, that game place in the mornings. I have not been on lately. I do know this. You all know this too if you're watching. That is not because I have quit. That is not because I don't love them over there. Wednesday mornings have just sort of exploded into a busy, bounding meeting sort of time. So I have work things to take care of. And then by the time I'm done, 10 minutes left in the show, you don't need me to jump in and distract everybody. So I will be back eventually. But yes, Tuesday or Wednesday mornings, that game place. Wednesday nights, bounding into comics, the 01 stream, me, Cider, Jacob, and Nerdigans break down the biggest pop culture topics of the week. Thursdays, Foil Variant, me and the beautiful bastard known as Andrew Rodriguez. We hang out, we give you our thoughts on the week's releases. Well, we try to give you our thoughts on the week's releases, depending on which hero and whether he has a lightning bolt or a spider on his chest. We might dig deep into, 40 years worth of history by accident. But regardless, yes, Foil Variant, Thursday nights, me and Andrew, trying to think of the time. I guess it's 6 p.m. Eastern time. Whatever. Andrew, follow me and Andrew on Twitter. We will let you know when it is. You guys know I'm very terrible with the Foil Variant timing. Aside from that, yes, Friday, like I said, we'll be right back here. And I cannot wait to see you guys all then. Have a great weekend. Go play something awesome. Go, hang out with a friend. Go for a walk. Go pet your dog. Go grab a drink. Treat yourself. remember it's still good out there. And remember, I've got your back. And I will see you all very, very, very soon. Take it easy, everybody. As the creator of Mara Jade,
Wait! I am not the creator of Mara Jade, and I want you to get out of this office right now.
I'm sorry, Zan.
No way.
You brought
no
it on
way.
You brought it on yourself.
I don't want you here.
I'm so sorry, George. I didn't think it would go like this.
Out.
Zan, I got your voucher.
Out! There.
I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry. We'll have him, like, burned and we'll
I don't
execute
even
him
know
and
who
burned.
that guy is.